fluoxetine. Yo, Prozac Nation. Prozac Nation, what is that? It's a book from the 90s, isn't it? Prozac Nation. The mad thing about, hello everyone. Oh, apparently someone said to me, a mate of mine who works occasionally with me said, why don't you, when you stream, why don't you refer to it? Why don't you say to people, welcome to Dangerfield? You know, name it. And he said, and then when people go away, they'll remember, you know, basic marketing. And you'll see a lot of YouTubers do that. You know, you'll see a lot of the big ones do that. But I said to him, I'll tell you why I don't do that. Because the 40 or so people that will be waiting for me know that. they really know that. And there's something a bit, it's corporate as hell, isn't it? Hi, welcome to, you're watching Dangerfield. Now, if there were, we'll get back to Prozac Nation for no reason, but if there were a machine that could measure tiredness, that needle has just gone right off. It broke. I broke it. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the reasons why, but you can imagine what it is. Overworking, desperate need to please people, never feeling enough, trying to get this done, and leaving no time to rest. Oh, I didn't mean for that to be Coronation Street. I'll get back to Prozac Nation. The show will start in a minute, but let me tell you, this is a true story, right? So I was in a free jazz band. Now, I'll tell you what for those of you who don't know what free jazz is, it's jazz where you don't need to know how to play jazz. As long as you use the similar instruments, as long as you've got an upright bass, at least one horn, you know, like a sax or a trumpet, you do need a jazz drummer. You do need a jazz drummer because a rock drummer can't do free jazz because a rock drummer's going to go. You don't want that. You want. And he's also got to start dropping in sevens and things to fuck everyone up when everyone's going, oh, hang on a minute, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 boom 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 boom. So because it's a jazz band for people who can't play jazz, I managed to get a spot in it on the old trumpello, right? Dedication, that's what you need. And the band, get your sick buckets ready, get your cringe machine, you get your cringe hoover ready. The band was called Roland's Bath. That's right. Oh, what actually was it? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was called Roland's Bath, which is a play on the name of the French structuralist writer. He's called a structuralist, but he's not a post-structuralist. But is he a structuralist? He's really, and these are all lumpen categories that serve no one but corporations trying to sell books. I think you'd call him a pre-structuralist. All right. I'll just give you a couple of seconds to let that bomb settle. Let the smoke settle. So Roland's Bath, this free jazz ensemble. Of course, if it's got jazz in it, it's an ensemble. So we had an upright bass player, a very good musician, a blagger, apparently. I've heard from other proper jazzers. He's a blagger. It sounds like jazz, but he don't know what he's doing. Bally G, Mumford, of course, on jazz guitar. Bling, 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 bling. We had a sax player who doesn't talk to me, didn't really talk to me anyway, but doesn't talk to Bally anymore because Bally's fascist or Nazi or some shit. Who else was in Roland's Bath? Andy on upright, Bruce on sax, me on trumpello, Mumford on guitar. I think that might have been it, actually. Anyway, listen to this. This is disgusting. Really, get your cringe hoovers out and get your cringe hoovers close close to wherever your cringe emanates. Most people, it's in the grinding of the teeth, but this is awful. I was wearing, it was middle of summer, well, the end of summer, but I'd got a tan. I had my army trousers on and my army boots, but I had a waistcoat on with no shirt or jacket. Now, say and search, I will show you where I stole that from. I'll show you where I stole that look from. Actually, I wonder if anyone in the chat, I mean, we're talking free jazz here. Does anyone know where I stole that look from? Weirdly, you won't, because it's wrong. I got it wrong anyway. He's wearing a vest. But anyway, I look like some rubbish 60s jazzer. And now, that isn't the cringe. The band was actually wicked. So, you know, you just start and there's nothing. No one's got any themes, or there's no standards in free jazz. You're just sort of there. And I had a whammy pedal. Now, people who know about guitars, a whammy pedal is a guitar effect. And you can set it to play like, you know, every note I play, it will play a harmony, and you select what harmonies you want. So you can have like the fifth of every note you play perfectly syncopated. You can do all sorts of shit, but you can also go in between. It's quite a, let me see if I can show you a whammy. I mean, this is a sharsted stream. I've already said in the description, this stream is sharsted. I'm knackered. This will go like goat fingers. This will go all over the place, and we'll have a call in later once the fumes have finally died, and you can come in and we'll just have a chat, and I will just say absurd things to your comments because I don't know what's going on. I am rattled. I've had about 5 hours kip in the last 2 days. Right, let me see if I can find a demonstration of a whammy pedal so you can understand what my horn, what my horn sounded like. Whammy. It was quite the rage in the late 80s to have a whammy pedal. They were quite the thing. I mean, the problem with them is, of course, everyone got them. All the rock guitarists got them. And then because it was a digital processing unit, even though it had these lovely harmonies and all that kind of shit, it sounded like a whammy pedal. And so you go, oh yeah, he's got a whammy pedal on. Let me see if I can. We don't need the bloke telling us about it. We just want to hear it. Right, here we go. So a bit of say and search here. I've got some memes for you. I've got some clips for you as well. So if we get some of the guests, we'll look at clips together. So this is a whammy pedal. Now remember, I wasn't playing a guitar through it. I was playing it. I had my microphone, which I was playing my trumpet into, going through one of these. So check out. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's get some audio sorted. Right. Let's see if I can sort this out. Hang on. It makes sense if you could hear it, wouldn't it? Press that. Pairing. Danger pods. Connect. Yeah. Right, we should be good. Right, so I'll mute. So he's playing an octave down with this one, but you can have the octave down with what you're playing as well. Nice. All right, we'll forward it a bit. Can you hear it? Yeah, let me know you can hear it. Okay, no sound. Apologies, people. Like I said, I am absolutely shattered. So anything technical, like running a stream, is going to be a bit tricky. So we'll go back a bit. Yeah, let me know you can hear it. So that's the octave. He's got an octave there.
Try some of the harmony functions. Adding a fifth.
So every note he plays, he's got a fifth with it.
That's a fifth down. Fourth down. Now if I switch it here, here's a fifth up.
So you get the idea, quite an interesting bit of kit, especially when I had a digital delay. Well, actually, it was an analog delay and the whammy. Nice.
Very cool chorus sound. Here's the...
But what I'd have been doing is pumping that like a wah-wah to get it going between the octave fifth lower and the octave fifth higher.
The deep sound.
Let's see if he gets into doing any of that wild stuff with it. Anyway, point being, in Roland's bath, I've really sidetracked there. But so I've got my trumpet going into a microphone. Microphone goes into the whammy, comes out of the whammy into an analog. What was it called? There was a name for it, not just a delay. It was an analog delay, but it had an analog modulated delay, which is just the LSD of music. Let me see if I can find that pedal. Yeah, hang on. Modulated delay pedal. Because with most delays, it's an echo, right? The bloke who lent it to me, he was late bringing it round, and when he knocked on the door, and I went, "Oh, fuck, about time." He went, "Yeah, sorry about the delay." But most delays are going to go like this. So you hit a note, bang, on the trumpello, and then it goes, and you can mess around with all the different things. So it goes, or da 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 da, and you can turn it up to get it to feed. So it'll go da 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 da, and all this. But a modulated delay, and this is where the LSD comes in. Hello, Anglo. Good to see you, mate. Hello, John. Hello, Zen. All right, foot golf. But a modulated delay goes, you play a note, bap, and it goes, bap, 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 that's the modulation. Now they've got one here. Weirdly, it's called the space spiral. So you should get the idea of what I'm talking about. So I've got the whammy. None of this has got anything to do with the story. I'm blagging it. I thought you'd prefer some kind of stream rather than nothing. I suppose we'll find out at the end. Let's just do that again so that we've got audio. Little whistle there, fill in a bit of time. Let's hear a bit of this modulated delay.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the...
No one guessed that a man who had a channel called The Pedal Zone would look like that. But let's check out his space spiral. No, you've got to be a lot more trippy than that, son. If you want to cut it round here. Very nice sound though, but not trippy enough at all. I want the modulation. Oh, here we go. He's going to add a long delay with a fast triangle wave-like modulation for a unique tremolo-like echo. Let's listen to the bastard on this. Oh, man, you should have just done some more acid before you bought that pedal. You don't know what you're doing with it. Anyway, right. So I've got this trumpello, and we're doing the free jazz, and it's like bash to gash to gash to boom 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 boom, and I'm like pwa 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 pwa, and it'll be going whoa 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 whoa. All right, now listen to this. This is one of the worst style maneuvers I've ever pulled. Now, I have confessed this to people who were there on the night, and a couple of people, women, said, nah, it was so cool. It was so cool. Now, I don't think it was, but if the ladies are going to say it was, I'm going to get that. Personally, I think it's a very fine line, and it was so cringe. It wasn't cool in any way. So check it out, right? So I've got my trumpet and we're all playing and we're really rocking and we're in a groove, you know. It's free jazz, but we've hit a groove. Right? And then I've walked out. I've just let the trumpet hang down by my side. I've gone out the back of the bar. Now, the stage area in that bar, the door was just, you can leave the bar there. So I've just walked out, not in a huff, just casually sort of walked past my mic stand, walked out, walked all the way round and come in the other entrance to the bar. So now I've come in behind the audience, right? No one can see me because they're all fucking grooving to this groove they're in. And they're really rocking, right? So they've all clocked me at the back, just standing there. And so the drummer's gone, gash, 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 bang. And everyone went, brr, and it all just went, brr. And then I got my trumpet and gone, and everyone's turned round because the trumpet player's now behind them and they're all looking and it's like, whoa. And all the band have gone quiet, right? And then I've gone, and I shit you not, because I was improvising. This is exactly what I've done next. So I just pulled that off, a bit of modality, well, a bit of chromality. And then I've done this, and this is exactly what it sounded like. I went, now, the English people are going to put 2 words in the chat now. I'll do it for you again. There you go. Didn't take 2 words from John. Yeah. Halfway through one of the wickedest grooves in the whole night, I played the opening phrase of a soap opera that's been running in England for about 50 years. And there's no getting out of that. There's no getting out of it. You can't suddenly sort of like, no, the band just sort of went, oh dear. And then they just carried on. And then I had to just awkwardly make my way through everyone, go, sorry, can I just get back to the stage? Whatever possessed me, arrogance, attention seeking, whatever possessed me. And I'll tell you what, interestingly, people have been asking me about that fella. What's his name? The bald bloke with the massive beard that everyone's talking about. Jack Murphy, is it? Can someone confirm it's Jack Murphy before I talk about him? Yeah, it is. Jack Murphy, right? So check this out, right? So people have mentioned it to me. People have mentioned it. And I said the other day, I've known nothing about it. So I looked into it. I looked all into this fella. He went on Blaze TV and what's his name's missus got a super chat. And she says to him, what have you got to say about your cuckoldry? And he goes, fuck you. And it's all come out about this fella. And apparently he's in the manosphere, which is, fair enough. Maybe there's people get something out of that. But he's made this mess for himself, because here's what he should have said. He should have said, yeah. A while back in my life, I was so broken. I was so destroyed by the culture around me. I was into cuckoldry. I was into porn. I was doing live rooms. I was doing live cams for money, sticking things up my ass. I was completely lost. And thank fuck I managed to get out of that, because that road only goes down. And, that's how you handle that, because you know what that is? It's the truth. You just say the truth. I was a fucking mess. I was lost, and I'd lost my masculinity, and it took me years to get it back. And so that's a bit of understanding there, and a bit of growth, and that would have been it. That would have been it. Just tell the truth. The truth is so powerful. So powerful. Look what the deception has done to him. His career's over. The couple of $100 he charges a month to turn beaters into real men, that ain't happening. That everyone's unsubscribing from him. Whereas the simple truth would have been fine. I've never made any pretenses over my past. I've done some fucking awful things, and I try and deal with them now with a bit of humor. I've been selfish. I've been nasty, really selfish though. And okay, so that's what I was like then. Now, luckily, I've grown and changed, and I've got older, and I can use that wisdom and that process of change. It was a couple of months ago I told you about I was a street junkie with a dog on a bit of string playing a wasp in a bowl of blood in Paynton High Street. A couple of years later, I was running a business. Change occurs. And so as you get older, you have wisdom, you've been through problems, you've found solutions, you've overcome them, you've got something to offer people. But in a way, though, he did provide a truth. He provided a truth. Because although he didn't tell the truth, which he should have done, and if he'd have told the truth, they would have gone on to the next question. Nothing would have happened. It'd been, all right, yeah, good. That's it. But the truth he actually told by omission and by accident is that he's in no way ready to be telling young men how to improve their lot, because he hasn't made those changes, and he demonstrated that. He demonstrated by going fuck you, and then storming out. Nice one, John. Nice one, Hitchens. Appreciate Kakaka. I'm getting messages from work. Work has drained me today, people. There you go. That's what I heard as well. But all very interesting. Rob says that Wilco Johnson says playing in a band is just showing off. My friend of mine was going out with Wilco Johnson not too long ago. Lovely bird, actually. Very nice. She was the wife of my sponsor. You know who I'm talking about, Foot Golf. The boss's ex-wife. She went out with Wilco Johnson for a long time. But yeah, I think that was a weird thing. Just the truth would. I mean, it's a cliche, but the truth would have set him free from that, from all that situation. You know, he should have known that. And if you don't know that, I don't think you're in a position to tell young men how to improve their lot. Now, do we all occasionally get angry and when we're operating under emotion, which is what he done, we ain't operating in a very efficient way. You know, we're not operating professionally. And he was being videoed, he was being streamed live, and in that situation, you don't operate from emotion. You put emotion out of it, unless it's relevant. If the question was about emotions, then you move into emotions. But anger's an umbrella emotion. Anger prevents you from making contact with the real condition, the real situation that you should be dealing with, which should have been regret, remorse, self-forgiveness, wisdom. But he didn't let himself go there. He just sat in anger. And you saw what happened. He stormed out going, "Fuck you." Well, sorry, mate. Fuck you, because it's over. And it's going to be very hard for him to come back from that. Very hard. Thank you, Hitchens. Much appreciate the 10-bit. Really do. Very kind. Lockwood Thixton says, luck has nothing to do with it. You worked for it. Very kind, Lockwood. Very kind. I think there was a little bit of luck, but, you know, what is it? Who was it? The golfer. Was it Gary Player? Is that a golfer? He said, I find the more I practice, the luckier I get. So, yeah, maybe there's a bit of that in there. What is that noise? Something going on around here. God, it's been a day. I don't want to get in it. Hello, Elliot. Nice to see you. Saw you getting props for the old Dangerfield logo. Made a couple of videos, didn't I, people? Did you see them? Did you see them? I don't think it was Nick Fardo that said that, though. Let's see who said it. The more I practice, the luckier I get. The more I practice, the luckier I get. Gary Player. Called it. Did I say Gary Player? That's so weird that I know a golfer's name. I mean, I know Seve Ballesteros, of course, because it was Seve Ballesteros. I know Tiger Woods, of course, because he got his hole in one. I don't really like to talk about golf when Richard is in the stream because I know it threatens him somewhat. But, you know, there you go. Hello, Air in the Gate. Nice to see you. Scorry's on the firm. Pizzle's here. Hello, Meganesia. Nice to see you. Hello, Arklow. Good to see you. It might have been Arnold Palmer. Brum-dum. Had a strange pajama. Brum-dum-dum. Collecting clothes. Bed clothes. It was those. He played his golf. Dum, dum. I don't know if anyone ever wanted the Arnold Lane golf mashup, but there it was. Broken Silence is on the firm. Good to see you. RMF on the firm. Lovely to see you, mate. Rob D. Maynard Trendle. I stuffed things up my arse until I turned into a manosphere. Yeah, it's good, actually. It's very good. Hitchens says, I don't get a chance to stop in very often, so I try and drop a tenner when I do get on a stream. Well, Hitchens, interesting you say that. I've been trying to mix up the times when I do them, because I've noticed if I do them all, if it's a regular time, the same people get there. I still will, when I get back into the flow. I mean, work is causing me all sorts of dramas at the moment, and working on my novel, which I've been smashing. I've got to talk about that Substack thing. Lumi, you'll be interested in this. But yeah, doing the odd one like 3:30 UK time, different people can get in. So lovely to see you, Hitchens, and thanks for that. Gaffney's on the firm. Pax Max is here. Grim is here. Jack London. Brandon's whistling BP. Right. Anyway, where are we going? What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So here's something interesting, right? Here's something relatively interesting. So the other day, Substack had this thing called a roll call or something, right? I've decided that I don't think Substack like me very much. Now, Substack are really cool. They don't censor. They don't have anything to do with censorship. Thank you, Mr. Trendle. That's very kind of you. I haven't even opened up the doors of griftation. I suppose I better, because people do like the old, can't even remember what it's called. What's it called? Flooden. I'm just going to put words out until I get it. Cliffhangden, Charkenfar, Oidston, Clatten, Entropy. There you go. Nice one, Mr. Trendle. Machano Capruscitato. Let me open up Entropy. Not my own independent Entropy. I mean the donation platform. Your sensitive documents are unprotected. Oh, so are yours, Mr. Advance. Advance, is that what it's called? Avast. No, they're not. I haven't got any sensitive documents, so you're lying. What am I gonna find out next? That Avast has been cucking his missus. Right, hang on a few seconds. Stop that, press that, bosh that, ting that, whack that, blob that. It's just words. So many words, so few meanings. Right, hello there, people. Thank you again, Maynard, and thank you, Hitchens. You can become, this is how you can support this stream with a few quid. You can become a member. I have private streams for members. That's the top link in the description. There's free strata. Join the top strata. It's like £7 a month. You get all the private streams. Join the middle one, the bottom two private streams. Join the bottom one, which is like £1 a month. There you go. And you get loads of extra badges. Jogger, Ron, My Ed. Members, hit it with those funky badges. Play those funky badges, Scrubs, man. Play those funky badges right. Okay, you can also do a super char. Yeah. All right. You can do a super char. There's the paying mantis indicating the whereabouts of the super char button. It's the $ at the bottom of the YouTube char. Okay, if you want to donate but not give YouTube any money at all, you can use Encre, which is entropy in a Turkish man's world. Money, money, money must be funny in a Turkish man's world. Aha! Oh, the things I could do if I had a Turkish man who do the cleaning on a Thursday night. Right, let me just get that in the chat again because it's going far too fast. Thank you for the badges, people. Very nice. I forget, we've got loads of them, haven't we? Absolutely loads. Right, I'm just going to pin that. Pin up to the top of the YouTube chat. So the entropy link should be up there. So there you go. It's not my full-time job, but I do put a lot of time, effort, struggle and misery into it. So I do appreciate the odd donation because it's the oil. Hello, Telford. Nice to see you, son. Hello, Picking Gaz. It's the oil that keeps the cogs of truth driving the machine of reality into the future of victory. Okay, and I have to say, a very generous bunch. It works out nice. It can be quite depressing sometimes when I do 2 hours and after tax, including YouTube and British government, I have earned £1.70. But 2 days later, I might make 150. So it's like, whoa, justice. Whoa, scales of justice. Okay. Good. Well, I'm going to tell you all about it. It's a shocker. Arklow rocks. Hello, mate. Lady Godiva, grifting at your feet. Wonders how you managed to make friends meet. Ah, balls, I didn't do it. Or should that be Scrubs? Hang on. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on, I've forgotten the melody. Oh, yeah. Dun, 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 Lady Godiva, grifting at your feet. Wonders how you managed to make Scrubs meet. Good call, Arklow. Shame I didn't get it the first or second time. Cheers. Thank you, Arklow. There you go. Years doing the old in out. Nice to see you. Take care. Right, where were we? Something about having a Turkish man. Chona, been a while, Chones. Good night. Hello, William. There you go. That's more like it. Can't play that Mandom anymore. They've done me for it. Arklow, cheers for that, Lady Godiva. Machano Caprasha 22. Of course, beyond tout sur le passade. Hitchens says that Chris Dangerfield put him on to Adam and the Ants. Fucking brilliant band. Absolutely awesome. I've done stand-up for Adam Ant. In many ways, he sat down for me as well. No, thank you. Let's get into a thank you loop. Right, where are we going? Right, what was I going to tell you? Prozac Nation was funny. There was a book. There's nothing to say here. There was a book called Prozac Nation about the explosion of SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So rather than your serotonin doing its usual course, it would stop it from it would inhibit the reuptake of selective serotonin. I've just said the four things backwards, but that's what they've done, which means your serotonin receptors got bathed in the stuff rather than a little sprinkle of it. And the crazy thing was, it kind of blew over. However, I know so many people who are on SSRIs. They've just become like the norm. You know, so many people I know on them, and everyone I know who's on them, says the same thing. Hang on, let me see if there's some facts. Everyone I know who's on them says, "Yeah, no, I'm tapering down. My doctor wants me to taper down," but they say that to me every 6 months, and it's like, and it's a fucker coming off Prozac. Fuck me. I mean, I've never done it, but I've had girlfriends who have. I mean, they ended up on them while I was with them. Meganesia Sean, which golfer is called the Big Easy? Ernie Eric. It's Ernie Els or Earl, something like that. Someone else will probably be able to help you more with that one. Thank you, Meganesia. Yeah, let's say and see. Let's have a look. The Big Easy golfer name. Ernie Els, the Big Easy. Don't know why. Not a golfer, but I think I might be. Thank you, Meganesia, for the donation. How about some toxic masculinity? Any videos? Today we have got some videos. Do any of them count as toxic masculinity? No. Not really, not today, but we have got some videos. We've got some memes as well. They don't kick in for about 3 weeks, so do they? But yeah, if they didn't work for you, fucking good. You dodged a bullet there. You really did. Scory says they're vile. Yeah, they're. I mean, anything that works like that, it's. You know, it's not really dealing with the causes of the problem, is it? You know, I'm really unhappy. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll take this drug, and it will prevent you from being unhappy. Well, is a worry. Cajet, oh hello mate, hi. Was on SSRIs for about a month around 20 years ago. Combined with alcohol, turned me psychotic. Yeah, I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. Lumi says instead of just taking a serotonin supplement or finding out why your body's not producing enough, because that would appear to me to be the reason. You know, make different decisions in life so that your body produces chemicals that give you the necessary responses. Now, it is the L's. What, you knew? You were just throwing a question out there, Meganesia. How interesting. Dennis says people end up killing on them. Dangerous as hell. I'd have preferred you to have capitalised hell, to be honest with you, young Dennis. Thank you, Grego. Lil Bullet drops a 2-bit. My favourite golfer was Boom Boom. Now you're well out of my pay grade now. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue about that. Liv is chilly. You need cheering up. You need a bit of warming up. Need a bit of friction. Pizzo had a Astra SRI. It kind of counts, doesn't it? Kind of counts. Dennis, who I trust on this matter because he's proven himself in the psychological field in conversations with me before, says, have a massive row with someone on SSRIs and they will just get over it instantly. Very weird. Well, this is the whole problem with Soma in Brave New World, and Prozac is very much Soma, isn't it? You know, it's like Xanax. You know, you're chemically unable to be anxious on Xanax, but you need anxiety in life. You know, if you're taking Xanax, like the Quartering said that he's prescribed it for anxiety. Well, you need to sort out your anxiety, mate, because you need a little bit of it. If you haven't got anxiety, how are you going to know when you need to dust yourself down and get on with sorting your life out? Everything's fine. Everything's fine while Rome burns, so to speak. Right. Something else I wanted to tell you. I can't remember. Gary Garner's Stack of Ribs, best avatar on the firm. If Dangerfield was a golf fan, he'd probably like Bubba Watson. I'm not a golf fan, but I do think I'll end up playing it. I think I'm in the right country for it. We've got the right climate. We've got plenty of courses. And it probably won't end me up in hospital like mountain biking will. All right, Mark. Good to see you. I just think, medicine is largely experimentation, and you should surely be treating the causes, not the symptoms. I mean, the NHS, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If it was a privately run business, the NHS would have disappeared years ago. It's so badly managed. It's a fucking con. Why isn't the NHS about prevention? Why is it about cure? If you were an entrepreneur and you had a few billion and you went, right, I'm going to set up a national health service, you'd sit around with your big brain people and your doctors and that, and you'll say, well, it would make sense if we could prevent people getting sick. If we could prevent people getting sick, it's certainly going to be cheaper and more effective as a health service. But the NHS doesn't. It just says, go on, do what you fucking want. And when they're talking about not Bullet, thanks for the 2-bit. When that's another one, right? Fred Boom Boom Couples. Oh, Fred Couples is Boom Boom, is he? Had a unique swing. We're going back to Jack Murphy now, aren't we? With unique swings. I knew someone was going to say that. I knew it. I knew someone was going to say that. Probably to do with the age range of the punters. Well, it's funny. Thank you, Bullet, for that donation. It's funny you say that, Grego, because I did actually have a golfing game on my phone. So weird. So little to do with golf. Press a button. That's it. It looks like a golf. Looks like golf, but plays like pressing buttons. Yo, we're getting there. We're getting there, Lumi. Don't worry about that. He actually told them, piss off. Now, here's the weird thing. They're talking about not treating people in the NHS if they've not, done what they're supposed to. Now, you can go in there with a smack habit. You can go in there smoking 40 snouts a day and drinking a bottle of vodka and going, hey, I've got a cough. And they'll treat you, no problem. I tell you what, the drain on the NHS from alcoholics alone, from alcohol alone, is mind-blowing. The numbers are out there. I'm not going to waste my time here. And that includes car accidents, accidents at work, domestic violence, boozer violence, the lot. And yet, if you haven't, get that in you. No, you're not coming in here, costing us money. Fucking hell. What a comedy. A comedy of errors. Now, this is what I wanted to say about Substack, right? So the other day, they had this thing called Roll Call. Now, my Substack has blown up. It's madness. I've got about 2,500 regular subscribers now. Some of my stories have been read 7,000-8,000 times. The rest of them are all up in the thousands. I can't believe it. I get some days I get 8-9 new subscribers. Now they've done this thing called Roll Call. And I said on the stream, I tell you what, Scrubs, if you want to help us out, I've put a little post in there. And Roll Call was just to say, hey, tell us a little bit about your Substack and what you want from the new year from it. So I put a little thing in there and I said to the Scrubs, if you want, get down there and reply to my message, it'll help me out. Now, the Substack editors, the people who work for Substack, they liked everyone else's. Not mine. This one, Bailey, loved everyone. And they're really weird things. Like one of them is called something like Queer Packy. And it's called something like Queer Packy. I'm not using a racial slur. That's what the name of this Pakistani woman's Substack is. And there's a lot of SJWs. I really rate Substack, and you're going to get these people, but don't worry, you get normal people as well. And this Bailey loved them all. Now, most of these people on there, they're people saying things like, oh, I've got 35 subscribers. It's been a great year. I can't wait for more next year. Bailey liked it. Then another one. Oh, I had 2 new subscribers in December. My one, going really well, blah, blah, blah. Nah, mine's got more replies than anyone else. Now, they're either a bit unhappy that I gamed it, but even if I did game it, you ain't going to get people to go and say something nice about your work unless they liked it. And the people who did say something nice about my work are also people who tend to reply to the stories. But I think they probably not. They don't really like my material. And you know what? Good. I want to be different to the rest of them. I like to. I've always had that position in life. And I'm kind of used to it. But I want to thank everyone who went over there and did reply, because I got loads of new subscriptions from that. Because hello, Woodlander, good to see you. All right, Barney, nice to see you, son. Because people saw all the Scrubs saying I really like your stuff, they've signed up, and there's a few legit responses there as well where people have read all the reviews. So nice one, thank you, people, means a lot to me. Exactly that. Mission accomplished. Hello, Moslab. Good to see you. Yes, he does. He comes here quite a lot. And he's always brilliant as well. He usually comes in when we have a call in. I'm surprised he's not here, but he is quite busy. Hello, Packer. Hello, Mrs. Packer, if you're in the background. Have I said hello to you, Pizzle? I hope so. Right, now, before we get into the call-in, I mean, we've only been going 50 minutes. Let me have a look at entropy. Absolutely rubbish. What I will do, let's have a look at some memes. I've got some cracking memes for you. To be honest with you, there was someone I was hoping might turn up, and let me just see what's happening over there. No, nowhere near what I thought might happen. Right, I've got some cracking memes here. Let's have a look at these. Nice one, Raymond. That's much appreciated. Have it. It's weird that there's many ways of interpreting that, though. You might have gone, have it. Or you might have gone, have it. Or you might, yeah. Thank you, Raymond. Much appreciated. Hello, Snoopy. Snoopy, you've come over from Jimmy's channel. Still don't know what's happened to Jimmy's channel, where it is. I got another email from him. The email title is I'm on YouTube. And then I opened it up. He said, I think I've worked out Odyssey. Okay. Still haven't got a clue. Nice one, Raymond, though. Have it. It's very, very strange. Nice one, William. The link is in the description. It's going really well. As I said the other day, my Substack could have been a nightmare for me. I've been working on a novel for 5 or 6 years. It's coming to completion. I've been working with an editor, and it's much like my shorts, but just loads of them stuck together. And I put my Substack up. I put a load of it. So they're all new writings. I haven't dug stuff up from the past. They're new writings. Now imagine if Scrubs and that read them and were like, these are a bit shit, which they could have done, you know, and I'd have gone, and I might have got like 10 subscribers and then I'd have been like crying. That would have really upset me, you know, putting my work out there. And how that is gratitude for me, that like 7,000-8,000 reads and thousands of subscribers. So happy. And it's really motivated me to get working on the novel fast. So I'm flying through my novel at the moment. I don't want to say that, Pizzle, but I don't want to say that at the moment. But you know, I'm working fast. That Gaffney, that's very good. Why do your shorts get stuck together? Hello, historical doppelganger. Nice to see you. Unfortunately, Gaffney beat you to it, Grego, but there you go. Raymond Piper said it was a good old Cockney habit. There you go. I should have known that. Not a problem. Not a problem. You're in good company. Believe me. There's 133 people watching, and I reckon about 100 of them have had or having or will have addiction problems. Hello, the dual-faced monkey. Wouldn't read your novel, Danger. Biography would be different. Biography would be different class. Well, you're obviously not listening because I only write autobiographical. Now, biography, that's someone else writing about me. But all my stories are autobiographical, and the novel is autobiographical. It's about 8 weeks I spent in Thailand rattling my fillings loose. Stop sending me work messages. I'm trying to concentrate on staying awake. So maybe it might be, even my Substack are all autobiographical. Lumi's novel's coming out soon, waiting on the cover. That's a nightmare, all that cover lark, isn't it? I've got this geezer who's got 16 books on Amazon telling me, get a professional to do it, and you won't like it, but it's about shifting units. And his covers are gross. They're like those old Len Dighton spy novels, you know, like a gun, a lipstick, half a glass of red wine. It's like, it's fucking no. And he says, yeah. He says, there's people on Amazon, terrible writers who've getting brilliant covers, selling millions of books. He says, whereas there's great writers with terrible covers selling nothing. But, you know, that's my fucking novel. I want a cool cover. And he said, you can have a cool cover, but you ain't going to sell units with a cool cover. You sell units, buy covers that sell. Oh, Lord, I don't know what to do. Martha Lorraine loved the last Substack. I'm so glad you said that, Martha, because I haven't lost any subscribers from the previous 13 stories. And that one, I lost 4. And they were all women. And I wrote to all of them and asked them why. One person got back to me. And it was a fair point, actually, what she said. It was a fair point. But, you know, it's weird, isn't it? All the other stories, I mean, you've obviously read a few of them, Martha. Why would that one out of all of them? Very interesting. Oh, there you go, Lumi. There you go. Exactly that. That's exactly what he told me. He said to me, go to your genre on Amazon, go to the bestsellers, get the top 20 bestsellers in your genre, isolate all the tropes, and that's your cover. The same lettering, the same composition, the same images. And I go to them and they're fucking crap. They're disgusting. I want it to be a cool cover, but that ain't how it works. It just isn't how it works. Yeah, exactly. No, that's always been a lie, though, hasn't it? That's why you have a cover on your book. Of course, people judge books by their covers. You know, that's how it works. Hello, Carl. I've got a load of emails of yours to plough through at some point. Next time I get a free afternoon. Right, where are we going? Let's have a look at some of these memes. I've got some classics here. Have a look at this. Martha Lorraine says, I thought it was great. There were some great lines in there. Well, the thing with it, Martha, was I wanted it to be about her. And even though the big bit was something else, if you know what I mean, the sort of the central kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, tableau. And I wanted it to show a bit of humanity, even in that sort of situation. But people kind of missed that, I think. Well, four women did. Don't say great lines you could really chew on. Martha, see a doctor. Thank you, Martha. That means a lot. Right, here are more memetrons. I've got some absolute corkers here. Here we go. Right, where was that one? That one. Do away with that one. Shane says that Jill Biden looks like a German Shepherd. I really like that one. Okay, couple more. This is brilliant. I mean, do the work required, people. Great work. Great memeage, that is. Yes, Martha, I did think that. That's brilliant, isn't it? That's a great bit of work. All right, here we go. This is also brilliant. I mean, you might be noticing a theme here. Broken Silence wants to know if my book has a full-size pull-out poster of me in it. That would be great. Something like that would probably add about £5 a copy to produce. So, no. I might do a hardback It depends how well it sells, really. If it sells well, I'll start doing some, snazzy revamps. But let me get it finished written first. And I am absolutely flying through it. I've got rid of so much of it lately. It hurts to get rid of stuff, but if it ain't top quality, it ain't going to go in there. Not on my watch. This is a weird one. Sorry, I was knocking back the old agua. There you go. It's a peculiar one. Right, couple more. The size of his head. Anyway, all right, I think there might be one more. Oh no, that's it. We're done. We're done on the memeage. Right. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to do something slightly different with the call-in today. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 videos. So when we get someone on, we'll watch a bit of footage together and we'll have a little chat about that. We'll see if that works. Because there's some interesting stuff, actually. I'll tell you what, I'll put the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come in and have a little chat, everyone's going to get about 5 minutes. So when I yeet you, don't think that you've bored anyone. No apologies thinking you're boring. No one's ever boring. Well, but you've got to have good audio. You don't have to put your face on the screen. It's better if you do, obviously, but you don't have to. But if your audio's no good, I'll just chuck you out because it's a nightmare for people if they can't hear the conversation. So here, and also once someone's in, I only want one person at a time. So hello, King Corona. Yeah. Gaffney, I'm boring. Right, here, I'll put it in there. There you go. And look, you can say what you want. Just don't intentionally get my channel damaged. And be respectful of me and everyone else in the chat. Why would you want to be abusive? No. Do you know what respectful means? I won't let you on based on that last comment. So that's a shame. It really did, Kajetto. I think everyone does it. I think I think a good 30% of people hit the pinner. Hello, Westo. Good to see you, mate. I am going to show a vid of Macron, yes. I'll tell you what, I'll play you this because I've been calling this for a while now. I'll get the ball rolling with this. We're not going to watch the whole video, but look at what's happening as we head up to the midterms. Have a look at this. This is Steve Turley, but I'm only going to show you the intro. Buffertron.
The midterms are shaping up to be an absolute disaster for the Democrats as they're poised to lose upwards of 80 seats. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the latest projections. We're going to see how Democrats are already beginning to abandon their pathetically sinking ship in droves. And stick with me to the very end of this video when we look at the growing list.
Can't stand with socialists. And I used the words myself, didn't I? It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. I also used the words people getting off that sinking ship. Their political career is ruined unless they get out now. They're looking at losing about 80 seats.
Ship in droves. And stick with me to the very end of this video when we look at the growing list of Democrat defections to the Republican Party like never before. You're not going to want to miss this.
Well, weirdly enough, we are going to want to miss it because we just are. But I'm telling you, between now and the midterms, it's going to be awesome. That commie party, the communist administration of the United States, it's just Those Democrats will be sitting at home every night thinking, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? What excuse can I use? And then they'll be thinking, what shit have they got on me? Because that is without a doubt how politicians operate. They'll be getting phone calls going, I hope you don't think you're going to be leaving us before the midterms. And some bloke sitting there going, no. Because, it would be a shame if that jacuzzi footage from 1993 got out, wouldn't it? And they're like, yeah, I've forgotten about that. Yeah, no, I'll be there. And I'll tell you what, in Minecraft, obviously, watch out for people disappearing. There'll be people's butlers disappearing, people's drivers, bodyguards. There'll be a slow build-up of deaths around democratic politicians, people who know too much, people who've got leverage. You watch. I guarantee it. It's going to be brilliant. That video, by the way, if you don't watch Steve Turley, you should. It's called Democrats May Lose 80 seats as more Democrats switch parties. Not stupid. They know that America doesn't want communism. And they know that this importation of South America, which is the Communist Party's political strategy to import voters, they're gonna vote for the socialists, are they? They're gonna vote for the communists. These people who've lived in communist states who want to get the fuck out. They're gonna turn up in America, go, wow, what an incredible place. Let's vote for it to be more like where we've just come from and less like what it is now. That ain't gonna work. That isn't gonna work. It's a tragedy. It's a demographic tragedy for sure. But I don't think it's going to work in terms of the polling. Not at all. Not at all. Just sniffer. There'll be all sorts of mad things. I'll tell you what, Lumi. I'll play this Macron video and then you can come on, right? So Lumi's going to come in, get your audio and that sorted out, and something. This is from Hugo Talks, right? I've skipped over the ident because it's a bit long. This is 3 minutes, and the video's called "Desperate Macron's Mask Slips." Now, don't forget the situation Macron is in. France has been a fucking. It's just been Protestsville. It's been Protestsville. It's got so many problems, the whole farm, the agricultural thing, the yellow vests, the refugee crisis, the bribing the English government, the British government to pay them to keep refugees in, but they don't do it anyway. And they've got Eric Zemmour, they've got Le Pen. The Overton window in France is clearly in the mid to far right, dare I say hard right, and Macron is shitting it. He must have sat down in bed, he must have laid down in bed last night with his mother and said, what can I do about this? And, well, she gave him some pretty bad advice by the look of things. Check it out. So this is from Hugo Talks.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. French puppet tyrant Emmanuel Macron did an interview yesterday, and he said, speaking to France's Le Parisien newspaper, he said, the unjabbed, I really want to piss them off.
I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. What a thing to say. What a thing. I mean, there's no ideology there. That's playground resentment. That is, I really want to piss them off. I just want to make them angry. Is that a health policy? Is that a social policy? What is that? Is that, that's just you being a bit angry, is it? Nice one, President. I really want to piss them off. We'll have that again because it's Lumi, I'll drag you in, mate, but keep your voice down. Put your mic on mute, and then we'll go through this. Right, so we'll just take that back a bit. Here we go.
The unjabbed, I really want to piss them off. And so we're going to continue doing so until the bitter end. That's the strategy. That's what he said. He actually said, I want to piss them off. What curious language to be used by a so-called leader. It sounds like desperate language to me. This type of rhetoric helps to
Look at that.
waken more people up to what is going on because it's jarring. As this report says here, his remarks have been condemned by his political opponents, who said the language used was unworthy of the presidential office. Other politicians in France said, and Marine Le Pen, who said on Twitter, a president shouldn't say that. Emmanuel Macron is unworthy of his office.
It's amazing when the likes of Le Pen get to call him out and be absolutely correct. I mean, what a turnout. We'll hear from Lumi in a minute, who's amongst all this.
He accused him of...
Yes, Mr. Maverick. Yes. I mean, there's nothing there, is there? It's so empty. I want to piss them off. Ooh, big man. You know, people who say that in the real world usually get a punch in the face.
Of trying to wage war against a portion of the French. Opposition lawmaker Sébastien Jumel said Mr. Macron deliberately chose to add hysteria to the debate. Yeah, of course, it's alarmist language in order to create fear to coerce people. And I imagine it will only increase all around the world. But it is only words. And the worse their language gets, the more they reveal their true selves. The mask slips and more people who are spellbound are broken out of that spell. On the far left, a presidential candidate, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, asked, is the president in control of what he says? I would say no. He's been told what to say. It's a clear sign of desperation, loose words. But like I said, this type of desperate language from a so-called leader only helps to reveal the wickedness of them to the public, to the world at large, so they can see what these people are really like and where their true intentions lie. It's
some absolutely beautiful footage of Europe there as well. Right, Lumi, how are you, son? Put your mic on, mate, and communicate now. Your mic's still off. Your microphone's off. Has he gone for a piss or something? Your microphone's off. There you go.
Hello.
We're all good. Hit me with it, Lumi. What's happening in France, son?
YouTube. I can't hear you in Streamlabs. No,
StreamYards, please. StreamYards. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
StreamYards, sorry.
You can't hear me.
It's going to be a terrible, terrible delay.
Why is there a terrible delay?
I can hear you on YouTube. But
why don't you turn YouTube off? Close YouTube.
I've got no sound in the stream.
Have you got headphones? Why does this always happen? Right, while you're trying to sort that out, I'm going to do with a couple of super chats. Nice one, Fraser. Horror in Antarctica. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a look at that. Coof has struck all the people there. And horror, they all turned into super spreaders. It's like The Thing, isn't it? I mean, they were all like triple G'd, weren't they? And it was like, no, we'll be fine out there. No one's got it. They'd all been tested. They'd all had about 20 boos, and it's just, yeah, it's not. It doesn't look good, does it, Fraser? It's really not working out well over there. Good call. Yeah, we'll have a look at Salty talking about that in a bit. Nice one, Fraser. Appreciato. Hello, Carl. Lumi's done the off. I only sent a few photos, mate. I was only joking with you, Carl. It's a pleasure, mate. I'll have a look at them. Nice one, Carl. Thanks for the donation. And no, I the other emails you sent me have been very interesting. It's always nice to talk to royalty. Nice one, Carl. Lumi, what's happening? What you should be able to do is have headphones. You don't need YouTube at all once you've clicked that link. Was that quote in context? Yeah, it was part of an interview where they said to him, you know, it's something like, as France moves forwards, you know, what do you intend to do? And he said, I really want to piss I don't want to say the word. I really want to piss that crowd off. Oh, okay. you just did. Funny that. Martha, I think it every time. That is the old 80s thing, isn't it? Cool, but because people want their family to hear them on the radio. That was the old thing, wasn't it? You'd ring up and you'll be like, Mum, Dad, look, I'm going to be on. So they're sitting there, and of course they don't realise that that's going into the microphone. Come on, Lumi. I want to hear it from. Did I say the thing as that, or did I get it wrong? That's a fair point. Right, Lumi's trying again. He's trying again. Let's go. Hello, sir. Lumi, your microphone's off. Okay, now he's been on the sauce again, hasn't he? Lumi, your mic's off. Unless it's meant to be off. I know that because it shows me a little symbol that says your microphone is off. Unless you're fiddling about in the background trying to sort out the audio and intentionally having your microphone off. Nice one, Packer. We are mostly boomers. I think we are. Am I a boomer or am I Gen? I thought I was Gen X. Gen X. Don't know what that means. Don't know what any of it means. It's rubbish, really, isn't it? All that. Nice one, Packer. Thanks for that 2-bit. Because it's like decadism, isn't it? People go, well, the 80s were like this. Oh, no, they weren't, because 89 was almost nothing like 82. They, you know, completely different. And when New Year's Eve comes, that God puts his hands down and changes the whole aesthetic. Oh, the 90s were amazing. Well, 92 was nothing like 97. I don't know about the older decadism. All right, nice on Rags. I'll have a look, mate. I'll have a look. The old calling show's going well there. Old Lumi. Causing all sorts of problems. All right, hang on, people. Hang on a moment. Good Lord, what's that? I can't watch that girl who sells farts in a jar. It makes me feel a little bit queasy. Is it the leaked WhatsApp message? All right, let's have a look at that. While Lumi's trying to sort himself out, we'll have a look at this. All right, hang on. Let's have a look at this. Is it that David Frost thing, Rags? Harley, I won't be opening my emails now, but come on, Lumi, you can sort it out. Okay, this in from Rags. Let's have a look at this. Fresh off the press, it would appear that old Frosty has joined the revolution.
David Frost, the former ally to Boris Johnson who recently left his government, has officially joined the Tory MP rebellion against Downing Street. Kind of knew it was going to happen. I was just waiting for it to become official. Now, Lord Frost, one of the smartest and most competent people in Westminster, who was until recently part of Team Boris in Downing Street and the Cabinet Office and all the roles that he had during the Brexit negotiations and post-Brexit. He is sick and tired of the way Downing Street are handling things, and is quite honest and open about his reasoning. It wasn't just, oh, I've got family issues, I need to take a break. He said he's got a problem with the way post-Brexit Britain is going. He has a problem with net zero. and he has a problem with the lockdown and restrictions. He is now officially joined these guys. Now, we know that Steve Baker and the Tory rebellion have been pretty active over the past 2 years. Not every time that they came up with the idea, there was no wave to win against the government, but they have already done their job because things are changing. Boris Johnson no longer has that credibility to simply tell his MPs whatever he wants and then they'll just back him forever. We now have
It's funny, really, isn't it? It's funny how it's happening in America as well as Britain.
the WhatsApp messages, the WhatsApp group that they have, the Tory MPs.
And you've got to absolutely give fair play to these people in these groups who get these screen grabs and then get them out. It's incredible.
Sound Tory MPs against the restrictions. Mark Harper added David Frost, saying that welcome, David, the Right Honourable Lord Frost of Allenton. So that was the introduction. Of course, David Frost said, thanks, Mark, Happy New Year. Steve Baker responds, hero. Now, this is going to be quite interesting because these Tory MPs, it's a very, very classic Tory thing to do. They're very, very polite and they're never as direct and aggressive. Every time you do an interview with people like Steve Baker, Mark Harper, and others, the line is, we're not against Boris Johnson personally. We like him. We have a problem with policies, but what they mean is when the time comes, and if the trend continues, especially with the Labour Party.
I tend to agree with you, Jim. I mean, I think most people around here use those phrases in, it's a bit of levity. I don't think people are, like IR here, I think it's more of just a joke, really. Exactly, Rags, exactly, which is why I was happy to show it. Same's happening here that's happening in America. Why? Because the left doesn't work. It doesn't work. Socialism's a ridiculous idea.
They would throw him under the bus. They can't publicly say it now, but that's the same thing that they did with Theresa May and previous leaders. That's what they will do. Whether
just hearing the name Theresa May, do you remember when she shuffled back to number 10 after going, I love this country? Really? Well, why did you fuck it?
Like it or not, the snowball has started. This is the beginning of the end for Boris Johnson.
It is.
Just before Christmas, he had all these problems, the scandals. Now Christmas happened, New Year's, and now holidays are basically finished. Some people think, oh, he's recovered. No, he just forgot because he was just taking a break. That's not gone. The issue of the Christmas party isn't gone. Yeah, he survived that, but that wound is creating a bigger problem for him. So he has no credibility to introduce lockdowns. He has no credibility to simply do net zero policies without any backlash. And he's just waiting to see if there's a miracle that could save Boris and his legacy. Otherwise, these guys are getting ready. They will be ready without telling us within the next few months to make sure that if there is a window to create a leadership challenge, they will do it. So for those of you who are still conservative-minded but want to make sure that we have a better Downing Street, be patient. There is hope, and we are waiting.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, actually. I'm quite impressed that the lad's got a ticker tape at the bottom of his YouTube channel. I might have to see if I can sort one of them out. I don't know what they're for, though. How'd you do both? How'd you listen to that and read that? I mean, it's a bit of a cope, isn't it? What I'm saying isn't that interesting, but if you are bored, there's other information moving along down the bottom. But good lad, though. I think it's a fair point. I think, the Conservatives conserve nothing of Britain. They're a liberal centrist party at best. Liberal centrist is a bit of an oxymoron, and people are sick of it. And I think this is the start of the end, really. What did I say? Isn't it not? What it's called a ticker, isn't it? Fuck it, Shane. We'll be all right. My point was made. Nice one, Rags. That's all interesting. Very interesting stuff. Anyone going to come in? Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat again. Arklow, you're usually very good in here. Moslab's usually very good in here. Where's old Rollo? Me and Rollo didn't get to finish our conversation the other day. La do do dee do do da do do day. Pizzle says we're Gen X. It's the best sounding one as well, isn't it? Gen X. Hey, Lumi. Steve's called you Boomy. Bummy. We could have a look at another video. I'll tell you what, this is shocking stuff. Here, let's have a look at this. If someone comes in while I'm playing it, just turn your mic off and I'll bring you in. Have a look at this. This is from Salty Cracker. Strap yourselves in. Fucking unpleasant. I'll tell you how unpleasant it is. The title of the video is Unhinged School Teacher Jabs Kid Behind Parents Back at Her Home. So unhinged high school teacher jabs kids behind parents back at her home. I can see you there, David. I'll bring you in after this little clip, yeah? Maybe we can talk about that. Right, check this out. I mean, this is shocking. This is absolutely shocking. Here we go. Hang on, once more. I can see you, David. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let me just show this clip. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we'll show you enough to terrify you.
There you go. At-home vaccine.
At-home vaccine. That's how this video, obtained exclusively by News 4, starts. It ends with a woman giving a 17-year-old boy whose face we have obscured what is believed to be a shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. Police say they arrested 54-year-old Laura Russo for administering the shot from inside her Seacliff home.
It's a very, very curious situation.
Curious because Russo is not a medical professional and not authorized to administer vaccines. She's a science teacher at Herrick's High School.
Science, 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 and science.
Well, it was just a few weeks ago, my friends.
You saw that correctly, people. There's a woman there who's not a doctor, not a medical professional, not a phlebotomist, nothing like that. And she's obviously got into her classroom and said to her kids, if your parents don't want you to get the jab, no worries, come around my house and I'll do it for you. Absolutely shocking. Hello, David Coles.
Oh, yeah, I've sort of doxed myself. It's our pal, actually.
I was about to say, I know who you are. Lord knows what you've. I was thinking, I know this fella, and was that a mistake?
Well, it said continue as David Coles, and I wanted to get him before anyone else, so I'll just press yeah. I mean, I'm not asked about my name being out there.
You'll always be. What is it Jimmy calls you? RPOW.
Yeah.
What do you make of that little turnout? I'm going to still call you RPizzle because you'll always be that to me.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I've had it with all that COVID stuff. Sorry, I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I think you can say it, but I just try not to say it too many times. I'm with you. I think it fades out this year. I really think it just people just like nah.
You know, what was it? In just after the First World War, we had something that was much worse than this, and we got through that. You know, with the Spanish flu.
What was that? The Spanish flu, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We got through that. I mean, people these days are just soft, aren't they? I've had enough of it. I can't be arsed with it, to tell you the truth. I got one jab, and I got a blood clot.
Well, do you mind me asking what brand it was?
Oh, can I remember? Remind me, what are they?
Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer.
I think it was the Pfizer one, yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, it's not like it's the first blood clot I've had. I've had loads of blood clots, you know, with going in my pound coin and that.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of blood clots, but it was just a bit, you know, I had the jab and then it was like a week later that my leg sort of blew up. Yeah, so...
I'm surprised at you because if you I'm not calling you out. I think people should be free to choose. That's all I'm interested in, the freedom to choose. But if you'd already had blood clot problems, I'm surprised you. Or did you have that before all this had come out?
What do you mean? No, I had blood clots.
No, what I mean is because blood clots are a thing that they have associated with the jab. since, but I would have thought if you'd already had blood clots, that you'd be particularly kind of reluctant, or was it a work thing or something?
It was family. I was reluctant. I didn't want to, but it was family.
Yeah,
it was family. I just thought, fuck it, I'll do it. So I got it, and that's like this. I only had that one. I won't be having another. So
weird, man.
Yeah.
So how are you? How's your year been?
No, it's been great. No, it has.
It has, does it? It actually has.
Yeah, comparatively to the last, like couple of decades, it's been great.
That's excellent.
I just started
compared to the rest of my life, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, well, I've started work. It's only in a warehouse, but it's all right. It's the first sort of real job I've had since I got out of rehab. I've been out of rehab 4 years. I've not worked in 4 years. I always had good jobs. When my habit. I had a habit like you for 25 years. I've not got a criminal record. I always worked. Well, for most of it, I worked.
Well, that's why I support legalization, because if one of the biggest problems, and we're talking opiates here because they are different. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. Acquisition is what screws your life up. If you've got a job and then that geezer keeps you waiting an hour, 2 hours, well, you're fucked. You can't get into work. Whereas if you could just go to the pharmacy, bosh, that's your 2 week supply. Yeah. You can, it was only when I set up my business that I got my life back in order, and I was using more then than ever. But because I had money and ease of acquisition, because I was buying 9 ounces at a time so that I didn't run out, because I couldn't afford to.
I've heard you say in the past that I think, did you get on a script for amps?
They offered me diacetylmorphine amps, the perfect prescription, medical.
It sort of takes some of the adventure out of it, doesn't it?
Well, no, that was a different story. When I was getting morphine amps from those loonies at the Stapleford, and I ended up selling them because it was boring. I'd wake up and have it, and
yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, you can't win. You know what I mean? You moan about having to score, or then you get a script and you moan about that. But
well, the thing is, one of the big things they say about anyone who's got any kind of addictions, because you're diverting your attention away from the real conditions of your life, emotional, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. And so there's also a need for drama. That's actually part. And you know what it's like when you're around a bunch of junkies. You could quite easily just sort it out, but someone will cause a problem that wasn't there. Why have you just suddenly put a brick through that window? What, you want to fight? What? No, now it's more drama. Now, just calm down.
Yeah. It's mad, but we sort of, like you say, it's an adventure. I mean, you've had sort of, I know you was a user and all that, but your life was like awesome, wasn't it? Come on.
I don't like the way you say my life was awesome. I'm only 49.
Well, you know what I mean? It still is. You've bands and writing books and stand-up comedian and traveling the world. But
because I had the money, because luckily I had the money, and when I didn't have the money, it wasn't like that. I was in fucking paint and having a terrible time. But yeah, I was very lucky. The internet was new, right time, right place. Yes, I did put a lot of work in. But again, the money.
I don't know if you know that channel, Street Crime UK. Don't know if you know it.
It rings a bell. I think I've watched some of the videos, but I'm not.
The latest video, or a recent video, was about Scousers, drug dealers in Paynton.
No way.
Yeah,
I'll have to have a look at that. Oh, I'll fucking know them. I'll know them all.
I'm not sure if it was after your time. I think it was about. Well, I don't know when your time was, but I think they're talking about 10 years ago. I think is that after your
probably
time?
Be the same crowd. Some of the ones that were there was like a 14-year-old living in my house, so maybe. And you must know this is a real problem. You know, this goes on. It's part of the whole county lines thing.
Right.
They move in your house. We'll make your life good for you. You won't have to score again. We'll buy you nice things. 3 weeks later, you're sitting in your bedroom trembling while they've just taken over. They've moved 20 of their mates in.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Yeah, taking over houses. I've seen it happen. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I had Gail with me, and you know, I had to sleep with a knife under the bed because you know they were all snorting coke, and I just thought at some point, why aren't they just going to help themselves to my missus? They weren't nice people. They were fucking horrible cunts.
Well, Scousers, aren't they? Even the best Scousers.
You said that.
I'm only joking, Michael. No, Michael Kagan's here. He's a Scouser. He's one of the good ones.
But no, what a nasty thing to do it. You know, that it's all promises, and you know, we were so desperate at that point that, you know, I even remember saying to Gail, look, it'll be amazing, you know, but they work you like dogs. Your phone's on 24/7, and you know, and even if you don't answer it, they ring them, and then they come and wake you up. Oh, go on, you've got to get a taxi to Torquay, and you're like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it is terrible. I mean, I never got involved in taking over houses or like that, but I did do a bit of dealing for myself, and I dealt for other people. But I was just lucky. I got raided a few times. I'm not sure it was 2 or 3 times. I got raided, and luckily they never found anything. So yeah, I never. That was, say, out of the 25 years addiction, I had about 8 years where I wasn't working and I was just doing what I could. But I had a girlfriend that, she was a prostitute basically, so she was bringing on pure money every night. So I had a bad about 8 years, but other than that, I had quite good jobs. And like I said, I never got a criminal record, so I'm quite proud of that.
Did you ever end up going into work withdrawing and just thinking,
yeah, many times.
I don't know how you can do it. I just don't.
Fucking murder, yeah. It's murder. I mean, you know, it's murder. It's murder when you can stay in bed when you've got to go to work and deal with people and, you know, do heavy lifting or whatever. It's not great.
I had a mate who worked in a slaughterhouse, and he was staying at my house. Yeah, and we were both in a right mess. And he said, "I've got to go." He said, "I've got to go to work," and I was just there, like sweating, going, "Don't do it, don't do it." And I was going to him, all those pigs, and you know, and he was just going, "No." He said, "If I don't, I lose it, and then I'm done." It's like, yeah, he went in 8 hours, came back, and he was 8 hours more into it. Luckily, I sorted him out a bit. I kept him a bit, but fucking hell.
Oh, it's fucking murder.
So you've actually gone into work and had people come up to you and go, hello, can you do blah, blah, blah? And you're like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I had quite a good, I mean, I weren't an executive for it, but I had quite a good job. But you know what I mean? I was a boss, basically. I had to deal with customers. And
did they not say things to you like, mate, you're looking a bit peaky there?
I mean, yeah. You know, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Under the weather, you know, or whatever. But, yeah.
And I bet you were every moment you had, you were on your phone making sure that when you got home, there was a couple of bags sitting there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's even worse when you know, you're on your phone, you can't get anything. You know what I mean? You're rattling, you can't, on your way home, it's to nothing. Oh.
Yeah, and that clock's ticking as well. Well, yeah, no, it's awful. But the mad thing about it is, and I remember thinking this when I first went to rehab, people with a bit of self-esteem, you know, people with a bit of self-love, the stuff that addicts don't have when they get into that shit. You know, a load of my mates tried heroin when I did. Most of them just went, no, I don't see what you get out of it. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not carrying around loads of self-hatred and loads of resentment. You know, when I take it, it makes me feel normal. But they were just like, no, it just makes me sick. I won't hear it again.
I know, I've heard you say that a few times, Chris, but I mean, I think you could have the most perfect life with the most stable brain and, you know what I mean, no problems at all. And I still think you'd enjoy it, no matter who you are.
Okay. That's
I mean, I
interesting.
just think you would. I mean, I don't want to say it's awesome or anything, but you know, it's pretty awesome.
I don't want to say it's awesome, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's in my past now. You know, I wouldn't ever use it again. You know, it's not worth it. But
yeah, but the thing is, it's awesome to you because it brings you out of that self-loathing. That's the point I think I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been with people and they've done it, and you know they're gouging out and that. But when they come out of it, they're like, no, I don't want that. It's getting horrible.
Well, it was for me. I was like really sort of shy. You know, it brings you out of that, doesn't it? Even like, I remember the very first time I had a Class A, I had a whiz. We call it whiz, speed and fit. I thought, this is it. I'm having this now for fucking every day for the rest of my life. It's yeah, because you know what I mean. It brought me out of myself. It brought me like to who I thought I really was. This is who I really am. You know what I mean?
That's a problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was whiz. So you know, that was I was a fucking teenager, a young teenager, or whatever. But then when I found gear. You know, you're not hyper. You're not just chatting people's ears off. But I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it for the first 5 years or so. I really enjoyed it. It was just the 20 years after that weren't
just the other 15. Well, that was my point. I mean, people with a bit of self-esteem, I doubt they'd put up with that life for more than 2 days. But the rest of us, 2/3 of my adult life, all that dramas, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You're looking good, man. Don't worry. I'll see you. Just have a little look at yourself when I.
Yeah, well, I try to sort myself out. I'm a bit of a gay when it comes to my hair. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm normally having a kip roundabout now. I finish work and have a kip.
So what are you doing at the moment? Don't tell us too much. But what roughly are you doing work-wise?
I'm just working at a warehouse.
Okay. Oh yeah, you already said. Sorry, yeah, you already said.
I mean, I've just started. It's just started to turn where I'm starting to sort of enjoy it. They're a good group of lads,
right?
And my body's got used to it. For the first few weeks or first month, my back was aching. You know what I mean? I hated it. Oh, I can't. Oh, this is horrible. But I'm sort of used to it now. Like I say, they're a good group of lads, and I'm sort of enjoying it. And it's only up the street.
Ideal.
I set off at 10 to 6 in the morning and I'm there for 6.
Lovely. Yeah, that makes a real difference, doesn't it? I've got mates who have to commute for 2 hours there and then 2 hours back. So there's 4 hours on their working day that they ain't getting paid for.
Yeah. And it's a permanent 6-2 I'm on.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's great that. I've always wanted that.
So you're back at home like mid-afternoon, early afternoon?
Well, it's 6-2, but we finish at 1:45. We get paid till 2, but we finish at 1:45. So I'm home for 2 o'clock.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
And then you have your siesta till about 4:30?
Yeah, well, around about now, about 5 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, not every day. I've not had a kip today. But I'm getting old, Chris,
I used to siesta all the time, but it got to the point where I'd wake up and I'd feel so gloomy, and it reminded me of all those crack days. But then, I'm not working in a warehouse for sort of 5-6 hours, so
well, actually, I'm writing a book as well, Chris.
When will that be finished?
Yeah, well, I've been writing about as long as you've been writing yours.
Fuck off.
Oh, fuck no, I am.
Good.
No,
what are you going to do?
I promised it's going to be finished this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you too. I know. Yeah.
No, really.
It was supposed to be out for last Christmas, wasn't it? Summer.
And the one before that. Yeah. No, I've given up.
I'm sure it'll be worth the wait.
It's actually just been a very long-term marketing strategy, because everyone who's been through this channel for the last 5 years knows it's there, and that's probably quite a few thousand people.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be good.
I hope so. I've put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, apart from the self-doxing, lovely to talk to you. Lovely to see you looking so well. Your hair looks great.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
great to talk to you.
Yeah,
wasn't you, mate. Starstruck this time, and point to the scrubs.
There you go. Look after yourself, man.
Okay,
Ta-da!
fella. Cheers. Bye.
Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I do like talking to junkies. Sebastian Ormsley, he said, I never met a junkie I didn't like. I can't go as far as to say that. I must admit, but there is always an element of them that I kind of get, I kind of understand. I'm sure I saw Mrs. Me in it in the chat. I had a very emotional email from her other half. Hello, Mrs. Me in it. How are you, my love? She says this: Happy New Year. Feeling better because Christmas was more of flu. Most girls get frilly underwear, but not me. Just a head and body ache and a sweaty bed. Bless you, Mrs. Me in it. Well, if it's any consolation, and I know it isn't, but the things you sent over here to me went down an absolute treat. So thank you very much. And I've always got, where is it? I've actually got. This is gorgeous. That tie tack is absolutely gorgeous. I think my missus has been fiddling with my level because that should be here as well. She's always fiddling with my level. She's twisting my melon, man. Where's that gone? Oh, there you go. I always have my level on my desk as well. I use it for meditating. I actually have a look at it and I remind myself a little bit of balance. It goes a long way. And I've also still got, I know it's gone 12th night, but I've still got a Christmas tree on my desk. I won't go into the details, Mrs. Me in it, but tell your other half, I will get back to him, but it was a long and quite detailed and emotional email. So I want to, I've still got 80 to plow through, but I will reply to him and send him my regards and love, can you please? And to you as well. Sorry that you didn't get any frilly knickers. And I hope you're feeling better. That was nice to talk to Pizzle, wasn't it? Can't read that one out, Rags, because I'm, usual stuff, but I'm sure people can see it. Snoopy reckons they should put Narcan, make Narcan available. There is a little bit of an argument with the Narcan. For people who don't know, Narcan will counteract the effects of an opiate overdose. But they were talking about putting it in the AIDS bags, putting it in with your spikes and all that. But the problem is, I think it encourages people to take the piss a little bit. But, these things, at least these things need to be discussed. They need to be talked about. I've got to have a piss break. While I'm having a piss break, since there's 165 people in here, if you could have a look in the description, you'll see my Substack. I'm a writer. I write stories. It's going very well. I'm getting thousands of reads. I'll never monetize it. There's 14 stories in the archive. And if you subscribe, which means just putting your email in, and it will show you how to do all that. Any new ones I write, and there's a new one coming out next week, and it's an absolute cracker. That'll be emailed straight to you. So while I'm in the piss, why don't you subscribe to my Substack? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll clear my notifications, and I'll see if any of you do that, and it will make me happy. And when I get happy, I come back flying. What's the time? What have we done? Nearly 2 hours. I might do a little bit longer. Oh, I missed a Cheryl Peters. Let's see. Good Lord, I think it's coming out. Hello, Cheryl Peters. Let's do this darn thing. Even though sharsted, adjustment to be made in the new year. Accept the challenge to normal ways. Victorious waters ahead. Good call, Cheryl Peters. Good call. I'm going to have a wee. Give me a second, people. I'm going to put Cheryl Peters back on there. I wonder if anyone ever works it out, Miss Peters. Just having a wee. Get on the Substack. Do us a favour, mate. Get on the Substack, will you? Oh. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Right, after that short break, while I was talking to our Pizzle, what a lovely lad. It's always a lovely story when someone's been involved in that for so long, went to rehab for the first time in his life, listened to what people had to say, and sorted himself out. Now, my girlfriend called me, so I've got to call her because she's probably going to say goodbye. I think she might have had a drink as well. By a drink, I'm talking about your coconut and cherry liqueur that she managed to get round her drum. Hello, love. Are you asleep?
Yeah.
All right, I'm making a video. That's why I couldn't answer. Do you love me?
I love you.
Thank you, darling. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, love. Turn the light off.
No.
Why not?
Zombies.
Zombies. All right. Bye. Well, love you. Bye.
Wait.
All right, wait.
When you come to
Bring what?
like you.
Oh, yeah, your one. Okay. Yeah. All right, love. Yeah. Bye. She sleeps with the light on because of zombies. I mean, it's so sweet, and yet I told her you shouldn't sleep in the light. You need darkness. And then she said to me, "You sleep 3 hours a night." Don't do what I say. Do what I tell you to. Wasn't it nice to talk to our Pizzle? Looking so well. You seem to have put on a few pounds since I last saw you, Pizzle. In a good way. I mean, me too. I told you the other day, I've never been over 82 kilos in my life. 89. Fucking hell. I haven't had any more. I haven't eaten a single gallon since then. Hang on a minute. Someone's dropped a score on the door. I was about to say the grift has been appalling. I'm managing to get myself through this with purely on fumes. And there's a score on the door. I don't recognise the avatar, though. It's quite peculiar. Yeah, pass that on to your other half, will you? I'm not ignoring it. I just want to give it the time it deserves because it was a bit sad, really, to be honest with you. I like you and your other half. I think the pair of you are lovely people. Anyway, let me find this super chat. It's only bloody Carl in Cumbria. He's actually aristocracy. You know that he is. He is. He's a Plantagenet. Do you remember those? What are they called? Chads. Used to draw them on the old electricity things, didn't they? Because they had a plus and a minus. Thank you, Carl, for that 20-bit. When I was younger, I suffered from severe social phobias. Scared to go into a pub or a club. Had counselling for years. After taking ecstasy, it changed my life permanently. Now I never feel nervous and can talk to anyone. Well, I'll tell you what, thanks for that massive donation. I'll tell you what, it's something quite interesting here because you've obviously heard me slag off ecstasy as a recreational drug, right? I've always stressed, I haven't stressed that, but I haven't talked about it in terms of medicine. And I have read plenty of studies where they are giving people ecstasy in therapeutic situations. You know, they're not putting on fucking Voodoo Ray and giving it all that. they're giving them ecstasy, and they're doing therapeutic sessions with them and group therapy or whatever. And they do a course of that, and some of the reports seem blinding. And if I'm not sure about this, someone in the chat might be able to confirm it. I think the bloke that invented it was going down that route with it, was looking for something that could possibly open up channels of trauma and help cleanse them, so to speak, deal with them, which is what therapy is anyway. It's tapping into repressed traumas. So that's interesting, Carl. I certainly wouldn't disagree with the potential therapeutic effects of MDMA. And what a turnout! And I'm assuming you aren't having to use it every time you go out, though. You done it a couple of times, and it made permanent changes. How interesting! And what a terrible shame that they've made this stuff illegal. And it's very hard. It's like LSD. It's very hard for universities and that to get permission to do this kind of research, because they're drugs. I mean, they don't mind fucking rolling them out across the whole world with like about a year's, you know what I'm talking about. And yet something that probably billions have been taken over the years, and there's been like 4 deaths from drinking too much water or something, or dodgy Jack and Jills. But what a lovely story. Nice one, Carl. Well, having said that, I do know a few people who had anxiety problems and took acid, and they still have. They really have now. I recognise that avatar. That's Mr. Natras. Let me see where that is. Hello, Mr. Natras. Zombie. You know what? Listen to this. So my missus, some of her family, like her family's huge. There's thousands of them. Oh, I'm going to see my sister. And I go up and meet her, and I've never seen this bird before. And she's like, this is my sister. I go, what? Your mother's daughter? She's like, well, yeah. Okay, another one. And there's this young lad, and his name is Rambo. Yeah, Rambo. His name is Rambo, and he's only. I think I showed you a photo of him once when I went to the province. Lovely photo. Look, I'll show you it again. But he had a pair of inline skates, and she was up the Modelay, the riverside, and he was on his inline skates, and then he'd take them off, and she'd get on them and have a little go. That was yesterday, and today they were doing the same. And I said to her, "Why don't you buy some?" And she said, big money, big loy, big loy. So I looked online, and they're like $30. And I said, go and buy some, and I'll put the money in your bank. So she's got some inline skates. When she came here earlier to pick some things up, she could hardly walk, man. She could hardly walk. Her quads were in bits. But, keep her fit. Keep those legs in good shape. Not that she needs to keep in good shape. Hang on, let me find this picture of me and this lad. It's really nice. Rambo, poor kid. He's got no mother or father. Their family just sort of adopted's the wrong word. They just saw him walking around the streets one day with no family, and they just said, come and live with us. And they brought him up. Lovely kid as well, really lovely, really sort of kind and generous and warm-hearted. Yeah, look. Here's me and him, me and Rambo. He'll focus in a minute. I might have to thank you, Graham, for that donation. He might focus. Look. Oh, look at him. Look. Imagine seeing that poor kid just walking around with no family or money. And I'm not talking about me, you cheeky bastards. And there's another one where he's cracking up. What lovely photos. Hang on. If I can keep it still for long enough. No, you get the idea. Anyway, so there's that. Let's have a look at the entropy. What's going on in over there? Oh, cool. Right. I'll put the link in the chat. Jim says that MDMA simulates feeling loved. Yeah, that's what I didn't like about it. That's what I didn't like about it as a recreational drug. You know, if you could just not pretend to love me. Well, any of the amphetamines give you a bit of a hard time the next day, don't they? But I think if you have, I think if you just have one and it's decent MDMA, you're kind of all right the next day. Well, it isn't constant, Astak. It's not constant. It will end in about probably 30 minutes. So it's not constant. And also, these have got noise cancellation in them. So I can't hear. I know what you're talking about because there's a nightclub there, but no, I can't hear it because these have got, and it actually works. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? The old psilocybin and all this microdosing and all that. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what, Bob Mule says, with enough weed, the come down is manageable. Well, this is where I saw a lot of problems with the smack, because when people were coming down on Sunday after a weekend of partying, that's when the old opiates probably come into their own, because everyone else's head jangled after too much coke and ecstasy and speed. You've only got to go 1, 2, 3, it's all gone. You'd be sitting there going, I'm never doing that shit. It's horrible, isn't it? And the geezer's just had it, just sitting down having a cigarette going, yeah, what a weekend we've had. And then, of course, 5 months later, they ain't doing anything else but that. Melvin says weed and a wank. And just as I said weed and a wank, if it isn't our favourite European friend, Mr. Pax Max, he's got the face of a murderer today. Well, have you got your teeth grit together?
I'd rather not show my teeth at all.
Oh, do you have tooth issues?
They are just marinated in tea all day long.
Now, you know what? I know that you're right, because one of my best friends who drinks 20 cups a day, they look like they're brown. They look like they've got Nutella or something, Marmite sort of spread on them. And sometimes I just say to him, you've got to get them cleaned, mate. Now you're not opening your mouth. You remind me of a girl I used to have sex with. That's not a great opener, but she'd never smile because she had a brace. She'd be like that.
Well, I will be smiling anyway. I don't care that much.
You're a handsome man, aren't you? You've got
thank you.
Did you start? You've joined them up. You've joined them up here.
Well, as good as it comes. It's I'm not in control of that. It just happens.
I don't shave any of this stuff. I mean, I do. He trims up this, but I do get rid of the sides because I don't want that lark. So, Pax Max, someone's telling you to turn up the white balance. I think it's a joke about teeth. Dennis says it's all about yellow teeth. I don't know. Moslab says you're a solid dude. We had quite a heavy conversation the other day, and everyone was writing to me saying, "Tell Pax Max if he wants to chat or anything, let me know."
I got lots of stuff, and people are, like I say, they are volunteering to. If I need some help, someone to talk to sort of get the day going and stuff. So it's all good. Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, the scrubs are amazing. So I cannot complain.
Oh, there you go. So what's going on? What's happening? What do you want to talk?
I'm recovering slowly but surely. Watching that Matrix Reflux regurgitations, or what was it called? Yeah, that was.
I can never remember. Did you watch the actual film? Did you watch it?
Yeah. That was time wasted.
Yeah, it's incredible because I didn't particularly. What I didn't say in my review, which I tried to say it, but I should have summarized what I was trying to say. And my point was, and I said it in a couple of the answers to the comments, make a film about the Matrix. No, tell a story about the Matrix rather than tell, what was it? Hang on. Yeah, tell a story about the Matrix rather than the Matrix being the story. I felt in that first film I was just being hit over the head with it's not real, the desert of the real. I get it. You opened up the first scene with Baudrillard's simulations. Don't keep telling me that. Show it to me. This is a classic thing with writers. Show, don't tell.
Yeah, and in this last movie, it was all telling blah 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 blah, and I was so tired in my ears after like 1 hour and 15 minutes. I really wanted to throw it down and said, okay, no more. The movie has to start now, or I'm leaving.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
No,
I could not believe how long they stretched out that whole cafe scene with him and Trinity.
Yeah,
and it's like, does he know her? And the shot of the hands, just, there's something else going on here. Maybe we knew each other in a different world.
and there is the entire movies compared to the other movies, the older movies, it's so low energy. It's low T. Everything is just muted. It's held back. There is no emotional investment anywhere really. No one dies. It feels like it's nobody's on edge really. They're just let's do this. It's like a day at the work.
You've nailed it. Actually, they've sussed it. They've sussed the Matrix. They know how to get in and out of it. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, we just do this now. But you've got to give them props for the Trinity and Neo flying together with the Uzis. I couldn't believe. At that point, I thought I'd fallen asleep and was dreaming it.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember whether it was Salty Cracker or someone else done a cracking review. I don't know. It might have been. No, who was it? Hang on. Was it Morgoth? No, Critical Drinker. I think it was the Critical Drinker who said he was trying to work out what was going on, and he said it turns out there's not the one now. There's two of them. There's two ones. There's Trinity and him.
Yeah, and it was such a fucking Disney moment. I just couldn't. I was just waiting for some music from Beauty and the Beast, and they're just dancing in the air, and what a...
It was like a Lion King moment.
Yeah, something like that.
However, let me put this to you. It's something because I've carried on looking into it, because I do read the comments, and people said some interesting things that I had not known about. And there is talk that the Wojcicki sister, is she now? I don't really know what's going on there. There is talk that it was going to get made, whether she or her and her brother sister was going to make it. It was definitely getting made. So the idea is that she's kind of stuck a finger up to Hollywood with this sort of postmodern. I'm not buying that either.
I don't know. All that I felt was that the movies was peppered with contemporary happenings, and that's not going to age well at all. And it was just peppered, written on the nose, every line, and besides being written, it was also said out loud to the audience, and it's just keep harping on, and it's what a... I can't even. It's
everything I didn't like about the first movie, and I did like the first movie. I watched it and enjoyed it. There was some lovely moments in it. The story is nothing, but that's all right. I don't always need that. But the things I didn't like about the first movie, this was like all of those bits
compounded
1,000 times. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But the idea that this Wojcicki sister, I can't remember how you pronounce the name. Do you know how you say their names? A bit more up your street. Isn't it?
Oh, Wachowski?
Wachowski, that's it. I'm thinking of Susan Wojcicki, from
yeah,
the
I
other
was
Matrix.
For a moment. I was thinking, oh my, no, not that, not that W thing.
But the idea is the sort of meta is that she's saying to the audience that this is Hollywood, and it's just it is regurgitation. I mean, there's actual scenes in it, 7 or 8 of them that are in the first movie. The fighting thing,
yeah,
with the nearly Morpheus character.
Yeah, remake of the fight, and shown twice as well. Yeah. You see the old fight and the new fight, and why? Spare us. We've seen it.
Do you think it would have been possible for them to make a new Matrix movie that would have been any good?
I have no idea. I'm not a writer. I don't know.
Yeah, but I
haven't thought about it. So, yeah, if I have a think about it, maybe I could think of an angle that would be interesting. But on the top of my head, no, I'm not getting anything. I wasn't expecting a new movie. I wasn't wanting a new movie. I was kind of happy where it sat.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, they know they can get bums on seats by making another one. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I put into my Pirate Bay on Minecraft the other night, good films from 2021. Just
was a fairly short list, I guess.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I ended up watching. Season 4 of Cobra Kai.
Okay.
That's what I ended up watching. Now, out of all the things I could have watched, I watched, instead of a movie, and I love films, I watched season 4 of Cobra Kai and just thought, I know what I'm getting. It's cheesy as fuck, but there's some, it's nowhere near as bad as the new Matrix film.
Yeah. Just to compensate for this shit fest, I just went straight to Louis C.K., downloaded everything from him, and keep your head up above the surface. Don't go down.
An absolutely amazing comedian. I think probably the best stand-up of the era. I think Louis C.K. And what a tragedy what happened to him. In an era of consent, he got cancelled for asking for consent. It's so postmodern. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can I masturbate in front of you?
You cannot do it right. There is no right way anymore.
There you go.
If you are with the wrong kind of girl, you cannot do it right.
It's such a shame, but I tell you what, fair play to him for getting back up and going to gigs and doing it. Because that could be easy.
He probably had many attempts to find avenues into the business again that was probably closed off. It's like, was probably a lot of producers and those who have the halls and control the scenes and stuff. They said, nah, we're not touching you. So
I don't think he's going to get any Netflix specials very soon, but he can certainly fill theaters, and I think that's a testament to how good he is.
If he can find one who will take him, that is.
Well, he is. He is. I know for a fact. He'll fill nearly every proper comedy venue in America, because they know that you put his name above the door and people know he's brilliant. He's
maybe they can look past this and just because it was a nothing burger, so it's basically nothing to look past. It was a drunken mistake, and
I think luckily, well, I don't even care if he was sober. If you want to wank in front of a girl, you ask her, because some girls will say, "Yeah, all right." If you want to, if a girl said to me, "Can I masturbate in front of you?" Now, if I didn't want her to, I'd say no. But I'm not offended. Thank you for asking, because if I turned around and she was strumming away, I'd be like, "Whoa,
what happened here?" Yeah. Where are the cameras? And
it's absolutely fair enough. If that turns her on and she wanted it, I'd feel kind of. I mean, if she was hot, I'd feel like, well, that's pretty good. She wants to wank in front of me. She wants. That makes me feel like a sex object, which I want to feel like occasionally, because if I'm not breeding, that's all I am anyway. But Pax Max, if a really hot woman, picture one in your mind now, right? So you're in some, I don't know, you're in somewhere safe and secure. No one's going to come in, and she says to you, Pax Max, she says, "Do you mind if I masturbate in front of you?" What, do you say no?
I go, yes.
Yeah. Can I get my phone camera out? Exactly. It's just, I don't think he done anything wrong at all. I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think it was drunk. And apparently he'd done it a few times. Okay. Oh, well, what, he asked consent too many times. And I think the interesting thing is the people that appreciate his kind of stand-up also don't give a shit about that. Because, they're sensible people. They understand that life can be a bit tricky occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit. You have to read the situation, and I don't know. I don't know exactly what the situation was with Louis C.K. when this happened, when this turned out so wrong. If the situation was just read wrong, or if these girls were just trying to mess with him.
Well, a lot of the thing
starstruck, and then it just went a little sideways, and they didn't count on it. I don't know.
A lot of what you heard at the time, excuse me, it wasn't nice at all. Pax Max, do you mind if I burp in front of you?
Go ahead.
A lot of what people were saying, not the, in inverted commas, victims, by the way, but allies and certain lobbies, were that he was using his power in the industry, right? That's what sexuality is about. This is why homeless men don't date supermodels. You use your resources. If you're a multi-millionaire CEO of a top business with houses all over the world and speedboats and helicopters, you don't take off your $4,000 suit and put on some tatty clothes and go down the bar and go up to a woman and go, "Oi, can you buy us a drink, love?" No, you use what you've achieved in life. The idea that this is some kind of power imbalance is insanity. And that's what they were saying. They were these young female comedians, and they were pressured in some way because he could maybe give them a foot up. Well, that's your mistake. Not yours, but that's their mistake. I think the whole thing was ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous.
Almost a complete nothing burger.
There you go. Kajetel was saying it. Yes, power relations in the workplace. But Kajetel, whoa, hang on. But the thing is, Kajetel, I know you're not disagreeing. I think you're actually agreeing with what I'm saying. Power relations are so much part of sexuality anyway. I think we go down a very dangerous road if we're actually going to pretend that there are no power relations in sexuality. That is absurd, because then you end up in a brave new world where no one's fucking, or it's just everyone fucks everyone. There has to be something to distinguish you from other people.
Yeah.
And whether that's looks, money, success, a combination of all of them, that's what it's about. That's what makes it sexy. Fuck's sake.
Yep.
So there you go. What we needed was a Matrix movie about a consenting wanker. Although weirdly we got that. It was the director. Anything else you want to talk about that I haven't thrown at you?
Nah, I don't know. Not really.
Someone said you could land a helicopter with your headset.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That side.
It's quite the kit you've got there. Have you
Yeah.
never tried these things? Not a fan?
So I built these myself. This microphone is from Antlion, and you attach it, and these are AKGs.
Well,
headphones.
Slow down a bit. So you're into this kind of thing, are you? You put this set together.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I took my favorite pair of headphones and I combine it with my a practical way of getting a mic for gaming, for in-game communication.
Do you spend a lot of time gaming?
No. But I used to.
Do you spend more time making headsets for gaming than you do gaming?
No. This is an old one. This is Antlion 2. So this is from, I don't know, 2013, maybe. Something like that.
Did you ever play the new version? It's not new anymore. It's probably about 15 years old. But the newer version of Elite. Might have been called Elite Dangerous.
No, I have it on my watch list for good price, and but if I want to play Elite, I need to get the virtual headset and a good set of joysticks and I overdo anything. So if I'm doing something, I'm gonna go all the fucking way every time.
That's why I don't play computer games, because not with all that bit, but I used to play Elite in the 80s on my 48K Spectrum. And listen, this will shock a few of you. I never done any flying or fighting. I was just doing the trading. Me and a mate played it. And so Ed'd do all the Thargoid invasions, Ed'd do all the fighting, and then we'd land at a planet and I'd say, right, buy this, buy that. We'll get some alien items. We'll get some pirates on our back. We'll get a fuel scoop, and we'd do that all summer holidays on those little 48K vector graphics. And then I mentioned it in a stream, and someone sent me a link to Elite Dangerous. I think it's called Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, it's Elite Dangerous. Yes.
And I just thought I would love to play that, but I just get lost. The time,
You would be lost. And just loving it.
Yeah. I don't have time. Thank you, Chrissy. Hello, Chris and Scrubblies. Chrissy. Gary reckons that Pax Max loves the Betamax.
No.
No one likes the Betamax.
No, I went the extreme main core, the VHS, where all of the materials were available. If you went with Beta or VC2000, you were kind of limited in the material you could rent.
The only person I knew in the 80s who got a Betamax also bought their kids an Acorn Electron when everyone else had Spectrums and Commodore 64s. It's like, mate, how many bad decisions are you going to make?
Are you going to abuse your children? We're going to need to have a conversation about your children.
I mean, it's not even a BBC Micro. It's the one before it, the Acorn Electron. My dad said to him one Christmas, we were sitting there playing Night Law on the Spectrum, and my dad said to him, "What?" He said, "Have you got a computer, David?" And David went, "Yeah." And he went, "What computer have you got?" He said, "It's called an Acorn Electron." My dad said, "Is it made of wood?" I mean, a 40-year-old bloke saying that to an 11-year-old had me in fits of hysterics.
Comparatively, almost.
Yeah, not far off at all. Yeah, look, Rusky, poor old Rusky had an acorn. Sorry, I bet
I'm sorry.
I bet you had Betamax as well, didn't they?
My late condolences.
What was the other one? There was a Dragon 60. What was the Dragon? Was that 32? I don't know if you remember the Dragon. Another one with like 2 games. There you go. Look, one wooden. You had one as well. My good Lord, you had an Acorn Electron. It must have been really difficult at school because it was Spectrum and Commodores. That was it. And you turn up with a Acorn Electron. Terrible. What plans have you got for this year? Hang on a minute, 1 second. Dragon 32, made in Wales. Well, there you go. Now I know why it's called a Dragon. Mrs. Me in it's grassing up the other half. He had a Betamax. In your household, you had to memorize the program and recite it. I don't even know what that means, Mrs. Me in it, but I bet your other half won't appreciate you telling us he had a Betamax. Plans for 2022?
No plans.
Nothing at all. How do you get work?
Come again?
How's work for you at the moment?
I'm ignoring work at the moment. I'm not showing up there. I can do some from home, but I'm really on sick leave at the moment. Really not holding it together good enough to be at work.
And then and because of the stuff we were talking about the other night.
Yeah. That plays a huge part of the issues. Yeah.
So we don't necessarily need to go down there again, but are you just hoping that time will heal, or have you got anything lined up?
I'm trying to get the German health insurance to help me get to some better treatment than just some simple psychotherapist you meet once a month for 10 minutes or so. It's really not helping. So I'm trying to get something a bit more quantitative, a bit more serious. Trying to get that going here in Germany is hard because if we go back a few years, it was easier to find support in English in Germany because there were so many American military bases. So there was always a lot of English-speaking psychotherapists and other staff around for that. But since they've closed down all of these bases one by one, you end up with only German support. So, and I cannot have a complete discussion in German to treat me to know.
So your German's not good enough to go to those depths?
No, definitely not good enough to describe these things. I can sort of tag along in a conversation about technical things. That's easier. But getting to any kind of feelings, colors, emotions, and getting all of the time, past tense, future, getting all of that right in sentence structure, that's not me yet. Not in German.
And in that context, those things are essential, aren't they, obviously?
Ooh, yeah, that would be quite important. Otherwise, he have no idea what's wrong with me, and I can't understand what he's telling me to do.
There's nothing wrong with you, for a start. There's nothing wrong with you at all. I think that's important. I think it's like this with anyone who needs some kind of help. You need a sustained long period of it. I mean, they finally worked that out with drug rehab. You go in, some of these places are 6 months. You go in and it's 5 hours a day of therapy. That can be an hour of group therapy, an hour of a thing they call goals group, 2 hours of I can't remember what it's called, but that's every day. The most I'd done was 12 weeks, and it's thorough because it's always there. You're not allowed. You don't have time to get away from it. Even at the end of the day, when you go back to the residence, you're in the residence with other people in recovery, you're set things to do, you're set reading, you might have to do a bit of writing. And so every day you're there. When I've seen key workers in the past, which I kind of think is what you're talking about, where I've had to see them once a month for 20 minutes. And, you know, I ended up talking to them about what was on telly last night. There's no actual therapeutic process.
No. And your time's up. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And one of them even said to me once, I said to him, I said, to be honest with you, I come here so I can get my prescription, because it was part of the deal. You only get your script if you see this bloke once a month. And he said, yeah, but don't you get anything out of it? I said, well, I just chat with you. He said, yeah, but that can have some benefit. I said, it might have benefit for some people, but I have got friends I can talk to. You know, it's like we've met at a bus stop. We're just talking.
Yeah, and the stuff I'm dealing with is really not. You don't want to unload this on someone who's not getting paid for it to listen to. you don't want to burden a friend with this. So because then he will be just as fucking depressed as I am. And that wouldn't help any one of us.
Are there any online groups that deal with this kind of thing? I mean, I don't even know what this kind of thing is, but you do. So
no, I wish I knew what's going on. If I knew what was going on, maybe I could sort it out. But it's just, I just don't care anymore about anything.
Yeah, but because you've experienced the loss and trauma, you know, without a doubt. I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think we live in a world that doesn't stop, you know, and you're almost not allowed to stop, and yet we still live in a natural world where loss occurs and trauma occurs, and the two things, they don't go together very well. You know, you're on sick leave or whatever, but there's going to come a time when they're going to say, yeah, you've had a while now. Come on, dust yourself down, get back on it, and that's difficult. You know, it's difficult. When my father died, I was fucked for years. You know, years.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping for maybe the Germans can find some suitable help for me. Otherwise, I will have to maybe pay out of pocket and get some support from Sweden and find someone who would do private work from Sweden, and we can do it maybe through electronic means like this. Maybe that will help somewhat, but still, I think I need a more physical intervention as well. That I'm ripped out of this sad existence and just brought somewhere else where I'm where my mind is shaken and see if the bits land at the correct places. Because as I'm here, it's.
I think group therapy is really helpful, because not only are you identifying with people, but it's very challenging because you'll be confronted by people who aren't professionals. And when you've got that distinction between a client and a professional, that dynamic is always going to be there. You're the patient, you want them to help you move forward in life. But with a group, they're peers. You know, you're all peers. And so, you know, certainly in my experience, I hated group therapy because of how challenging it is. You know, I don't want emotions. I don't want my emotions. I don't want your emotions. And when there's 20 of you, and the harrowing stories. I used to sing songs in my head. I'll tell you one thing I've done. I used to pretend I was on a special forces operation so that I just didn't have to listen to someone's...
Okay, right.
Yeah. Because it was just too painful. I didn't want to hear it. And, you know, and they caught me out on that. They caught that, you know, and that, again, a group will do that. because after 2 weeks of that, there'll be a therapist in there who sort of nudges the group in a certain direction. But I remember after 2 weeks of me being at this one place, the therapist said, I just want to go around the room and I just want people in a sentence to describe what they think Chris's role is in this group. And my heart's going, brrr, sweat pouring out. I mean, no one said anything yet apart from that. And I just thought, this is hell for me. This is absolute hell. And almost to a man, they said he's absent. He's not here. Emotionally, he's not here. And I thought I'd been doing really well. I'd been talking when people had said things. I'd been saying, well, I think you this, I think you this. But it was all them, not how I felt. I'd be telling them out. And nearly all of them said, yeah, he turns up in body, but he's not here in mind. And it was really quite hard to take because, of course, then they'll work on that, and every time they see me, sort of pulling away from the group, they'll pull me back in. And that was a struggle for me. I think groups have therapeutically, certainly for me, I've had private psychotherapy. I paid a fortune for a bloke in Harley Street, and it just didn't compare in any way. It was quite a pleasure. He was an intelligent bloke. He had a good sense of humour. I wrapped him around my finger quite easily, and we'd talk about things I wanted to talk about. And there was no treatment. There was no facing anything. But group, maybe have a look at that.
Yeah, maybe the group, because when you say stuff like that, it sounds so possible that it could happen to me as well. That I would sort of shield myself verbally and just disappear. That is why I think this the importance is that I'm whisked away from this existence that I have here, my little castle with solid walls and surrounded by all kind of safety, and just nah, we're not going to let you be there. You're going to be with us now.
Who in your life is available to talk to about what you've been through? But hang on, that's not the end of the question. And you have spoken to about it?
Everybody in my close family, and
okay,
and also my closest friends. Yeah, they all know, and they say, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with it. You need to do something. You cannot stay there. What you're doing right now, you need to move on somehow.
It's strange, isn't it? Because that was my experience with my father. It's like moving on almost feels, what's the word I'm looking for? It almost feels like you're being a traitor to move on. I felt like I was, if I showed signs of acceptance, then, well, was that relationship really special? Because surely I should be in pain forever on the back of this. I'm not projecting that on you at all, but that was certainly my experience. I felt like I felt like you can't move on from that. That's who you are now. And maybe there is an element of that there. Maybe there is an element of that there.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything from within me who says something about that. It's I don't know. Maybe it's shut off. It's internalized and put behind a firewall. I can't reach it. I don't know, or I don't care. I don't know. I don't know what it is. What I know is I'm not really dealing with it properly. It's only pushed down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. We ended up in the same freaking dark hole.
It was inevitable, though. It's inevitable because
maybe it is
your life, isn't it? It's dominating your life.
The biggest fucking boulder will get in your way.
Yeah. There you go. But I'm going to risk some advice. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's no properly. There's just life and getting on with it. That I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do these things, and at some point you will. At some point you will, because you're an intelligent bloke, and that does help. That does help. I know it's an emotional thing, but
yeah, the problem
having awareness.
I'm aware, but I'm also really prevalent to just up tomorrow, and it's sort of the same Groundhog Day every day. You go to bed. And tomorrow, I really need to make that very important call. Really need to do it, but at the same time, I'm afraid to do that call a bit of fear. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be a brave guy and do it. And the next day comes, that call. I need breakfast first. And that call. I need to take a shower. And shower's done. I really should go. I must shop now. Yeah, must shop now. And then, maybe Dangerfield is on.
Don't blame me.
Yeah. So
is there a sense that there's a lack of value to anything?
Yeah, that is. I've noticed that at least I am having really big difficulties enjoying anything in life at the moment. I've been trying to take up every one of my old hobbies and trying to bring them back to life, and I have serious problems to enjoy any of it because it's really not hitting the spots. I don't know.
Well, here's why. Because before they were supplements to something exceptionally valuable and something necessary. Love. Is we need it. We need intimacy and we need love. If you get those two things in your life, I'll listen to a bit of music because you've got that. You've got those necessities sorted. Now they're challenging and they variate, but all the other things are just sort of like decorations and supplements. But if you lose that love and intimacy, they're not going to fill that void. They're almost going to heighten it. Say one of your hobbies was, I don't know, role-playing games. Well, if that is all you're doing, that's shit. You're sitting there rolling 2d10. I hit him with my sword. He'd be like, "Fucking me, what has happened to my life?" But so I can really understand that.
Yeah.
Really.
Basically, I was sort of going back to a single life. What I used to do before I met my wife, and trying to start over from there, maybe. That was the idea, I think, behind this. But yeah, maybe I moved on from my hobbies as well. And I don't know.
You're a different person. And you're, like I said, there's a massive loss and a massive trauma, and it's awful. It hurts to fuck. It really hurts.
Yep. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to make that important call.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Try and start taking a personal inventory. So every other night before you go to bed, just write down how you've been that day. I'm asking you to do that. Not an essay, not 500 words. It can be 2 or 3 lines. How have I been that day? That's it.
Okay.
Just try that. It's just a little tip of just a little personal inventory every other night, just before you go to bed.
Interesting.
Do you meditate at all? Oh, yes, you do. I read your comment.
Yeah.
I thought, and there's the bloke I was talking about in the video. There's that noise. Good Lord, yeah. Well, that might be something worth trying.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Listen, I don't want you to keep coming on here and it turn into this, because there's a lot more to you. And
everybody in chat is just breaking down. It's like, oh my God.
No, you're well loved around here, man. And I think I know from YouTube that the average age of my viewers is around 45. Most of the people in the chat have lost lovers, have been through trauma. I think there's a lot of people probably really feeling for you and feeling a little bit powerless. I'm sitting here now thinking, fuck, I wish I could do something, because
yeah, that's also the part I want to come on here, and I like to be spread some joy. I don't want to bring everybody down to my level.
No,
that's the last thing.
No. Okay, but you haven't brought anyone down at all. I don't think that's what the effect is at all. I just no, I think it's lovely to talk to you. Thanks for coming on again.
That is usually what my therapist says. Really nice to talk to you. It's really nice to have you here. See you next week. But
yeah,
what about me?
Yeah. I really enjoyed talking. But
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That is exactly what one of the therapists said. It's just nice to see you.
But I think they might have a point. I think the point they're probably trying to make is that although you suffered a devastating loss, you're not worthless because of that.
And I can put on a show.
I know that one very well. I spent my life performing. Listen, Pax Max, you got my email if you want to talk again. I've still got to reply to your telegrams, but I'm stopping Telegram, but I will reply to yours.
It's all in there in the Telegram. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will.
It's just a short bit about where it's heading.
But there are solutions, and that life goes on, man. And it's lovely to talk to you. I don't care what your therapist said. It is lovely to talk to you. Take care, Pax Max.
Yeah, you too. Bye, Scrubs.
Ta-da! Oh, it's like, this is life, isn't it? This is life. It's fucking difficult. It can be fucking difficult. Just losing a partner because you fell out of love can rock your world. I experienced the death of my father as a young man, and fucking hell. But I remember at one point thinking the best thing I can do is at least try and make my father proud in some way, because he certainly wouldn't want me to be doing what I was doing in the 7 or 8 years directly after his death. And I can remember once when my mother said to me, just out of the blue, and it's so unlike my mother, she said to me, your dad would have been really proud of you. I was like, I've got to get out of this room. I can't do this. Agreed, Lee. I mean, they're blagging it just as much as the junkie on the other side of the room, aren't they? Just give him a script. The questions my key worker used to ask me: have you blacked out this month? Fuck knows. How would I know? What a stupid question. Have you blacked out? Maybe. Anyway, hello Otto, nice to see you, mate. Otto's head's completely fucked. I would advise people to get on the meditation. Really, you've only got to do 5 minutes a day, and it will change your life. And it's impossible to do. It's not something you can do. You cannot get rid of it, the noise, but the trying and being aware of trying will do wonders for your life. Look at Mrs. Me in it, absolutely ruthless. I went to the doctors about menopause issues. Idiot said you should take antidepressants and counselling. Wrong move. I nearly floored the cow. Well, I do. I've been sent a message from someone. Oh no, I haven't. I've got a message from StreamYard. I do believe in group therapy. I really do. I've seen it. It changed my life, and it did. But it's fucking difficult. But I'm not necessarily sure you want to take your mind off these things. Occasionally, yes, but avoiding it doesn't work. You know, anything that you push out the way of your consciousness is like a ticking time bomb. You know, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to face it. Out the way, tick, 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 tick. And if you don't deal with these things consciously, in a way where you can regulate their effect on you, you can regulate the timing of how much you want to deal with at what time, well, then you're going to deal with it on its terms, and it can, you know, it kills people. Trauma kills people. David Foster Wallace, the writer who killed himself, you know, and I'm always ethically challenged about suicide, but he said the description he gave is, you know, if you're standing on a window on the 20th floor of a high rise and you're about to jump out, it's not that you don't fear jumping out. You're as scared as everyone else would be about jumping out. The only difference is for that person is they're more scared about what's behind them. And that kind of makes sense to me. You know, repressing emotions can kill you. That's how people end up drinking 4 bottles of vodka a day. That's how people end up injecting street drugs into a hole in their groin. That's how people end up sticking their fingers down their throat after every time they eat. You know, repressing emotions is deadly. It really is. Feelings and emotions alone can't kill you, but trying to avoid them can and does. I think that's my take out of that. Right. I think we didn't really get into that salty cracker thing. Get the grift on, people. Nice one. Just as I said that, look what I saw happen. Just as I said that, I'll continue for a little bit longer, but we've just hit nearly 3 hours. Nice one, Raymond. Have another. I got it right that time, didn't I? Have another. I think we should have another. Thank you, Raymond. I really appreciate that. The grift has been appalling. 165 people in here. This is usually when I advertise my Substack. Hi, if you like writing, if you like reading short stories, link in the description. Substack. I write autobiographical stories from the greasy underbelly of my existence. Link in the description. It's totally free. Sign up with your email, and any new ones I write, which will be about 1 a month, will be sent to your email. You'll really help my channel if you subscribe to my Substack. And thank you to the 6 people who already have while we've been streaming. That's very kind of you. Right, where am I going now? I reckon I might be able to pull another half hour out of this. Let's have a look again. Well, we don't need to. I'm going to have to take these out and recharge them for a bit. But did you all see that salty cracker clip? There's a teacher who's not a medical professional. She's not a phlebotomist or a doctor or anything. And she was jabbing up school kids in her house outside of school time. Yeah, well, hang on, where is it? Let me actually find the article. Hang on. Here we go, the good old BBC. Let's have a look at this. Get a bit of juice in the vape. Here we go. Look at that. It's absolutely true. Madness. The cheek of it. US science teacher. Oh, well, there you go. I represent science. US science teacher arrested for vaccinating 17-year-old student. I mean, for fuck's sake. Just fuck off. Oh, nice one. 2 more people have just signed up to my Substack. You lovely, lovely people. Hang on a minute. Very kind, very kind. Yeah, they're cracking stories. They've had loads of reads. If you enjoy them, maybe leave a comment. If you don't enjoy them, also leave a comment. Tell me why, and it might help me out. Here we go. A New York school teacher with no formal medical qualification has been arrested for allegedly giving a vaccine to a student, says officials. Police say Laura Russo administered the dose at her home despite having no legal authorization to give jabs or consent from the boy's parents. What do you reckon? There's a bit more going on than there's a bit more there's a bit more of this kind of thing going on than just this injection. There's another injection going on when a 54-year-old teacher's got a 17-year-old back at her house. No, come around, I'll help you out. Fucking hell. Ms. Russo, I don't know if that's Russo or Russo. I'll say Russo because I like Demis. Ever and ever, ever and ever, please someone. Here we go. Ms. Russo, Ms. Yeah. Come back to my house. Ms. Hello, Ted. Didn't know you were in here, son. Good to see you. Where has he gone? I just thought I saw Ted. Maybe I'm saying hello to someone who ain't here. Hello, Poke the Bear. Just saw you there as well. Hello, Jeffro Hetero. Oh, there the boy Ted is. Dangerfield group therapy. That's what this is of sorts. I can't. I wouldn't dare pretend I had the ability to do that. It takes quite the a stronger emotional person than me to deal with group therapy, I can assure you. More breaking news from Rags, or is that the same as the last one? I'll have a look. Mrs. Me in it. If I could buy a round for you all, I would, my friends, to say Happy New Year and all the best. Maybe one day, lovelies. Well, I'm going to get my passport sorted out. My missus is going to get hers sorted out. If we can sort out coming over to England this year, once all this nonsense has petered out, we'll do an IRL and we'll hold you to that. But I reckon it might be quite busy. That might be quite the round. Thank you, Mrs. Me in it. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. Where are we now? Right. The 17-year-old had repeatedly wanted it. Ms. Russo, wanted it, sorry. Miss Russo, 54, who teaches biology, was held on New Year's Eve and could face 4 years if convicted. All right. In the current scientific climate, what do you reckon the chances of her going to prison for doing that? What do you reckon? Fuck, she'll get community service giving vaccines or something. I think we've seen enough of it. Hang on, check this out. This is funny. Well, it's funny to me. Injections can be dangerous if administered incorrectly. Doctors and licensed medical workers have to verify that the vaccine is not counterfeit or expired. Patients should also be asked about their medical history and have their reaction monitored after the jab. It's fucking dodgy, though, isn't it? That's fucking dodgy. I mean, the 17-year-old wanted it. I wonder how much propaganda she'd been spilling about having that in her classroom. What a surprise. How do you even get to that conversation? How do you even get to the bit where he comes up to her and goes, do you reckon you could... I mean, where did she even get him from? How comes this not doctor, non-Dr. Russo, how come she's got spare vaccines laying about? I mean, what the fuck's going on? It's fucking mad. Police say it's unclear how Ms. Russo obtained the alleged Vax or what brand it is. Currently, the Pfizer BioNTech jab is the only one authorized for Americans under 18 years old. Video of the incident in Long Island appears to show they videoed it. What the fuck? It shows Ms. Russo telling the teenager, "You'll be fine, I hope." Hang on a minute. Sorry, I thought you lot were looking at that. Check that out. Look, it's actually there. Video of the incident in Long Island appears to show Ms. Russo telling the teenager, "You'll be fine, I hope." Here you go, at-home vaccine, he says. Officials say the boy's parents called Nassau police after he came home and told them what happened. She had obtained a vaccine, said Nassau Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder. That's still under investigation on how she got it. Fucking hell. Is there a black market in coofs? Nice one, Matt. I remember the days when the female teacher let the male students poke them. Do you know what I mean? I tell you what, Matt. There was a woman at my school called Mrs. Crumpton, right? And me and her got proper. We were locking horns, right? And I used to sit in this desk, and she used to wear lace stockings and suspender belt, right? And I used to sit at the desk. I'd always get the same desk where I had the perfect angle under the desk. And I'd just be looking at her underwear, like 13 years old, actually about 14. And sometimes she'd catch me and she'd just maintain eye contact with me. It was so naughty and brilliant, right? And listen to this. One lesson after I'd sat there for an hour with a raging boner. Remember those 14-year-old boners? You know, you can fucking open cans of food with them. At the end of the lesson, she said, "Okay, go on, you can go home now. Dangerfield, you can stay behind." And I was like, fucking wicked. And I remember thinking, anything that happens now, anything is going to be brilliant. There's no way this can go wrong. There's nothing that, even if she starts hitting me, I'll be going, oh. Right? And she made me change seats, made me sit in the middle of the room, right? And she got the cane. And she had, I'll never forget it, she had this sort of like red dress that went down to just above her knees. But the tops of her stockings, they weren't too much further up, right? And she was walking around me, walking in a circle around me, she was going, you think you're some kind of comedian. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm going to spunk in a minute. Any second now, I am just going to blow my beans. And I'm not going to be able to go, I'm just going to go, ah! And I was actually worried. And when I say worried, I mean couldn't wait for it to happen. And I could hear her heels just going, as she just kept circling me. She's going, you think you're something special? And I was just thinking, just keep going. Please do this for hours and hours. I reckon I might be able to get 3 or 4 out of it. And she just was walking around with this cane in her hand and just, oh my God. Nothing else happened, unfortunately, but I didn't have it in me anyway. I was a very late developer. I mean, I don't think... I remember a mate of mine fucked her in the end, old Dodgy Del Scarf, doxed. But yeah, fucking hell, it was hot. It was so hot. I got home. I said, I've got to have a bath. Come on, man, what's wrong with you? I never had baths. I'm having a bath. Just the feel of my balls hitting the cold porcelain on the bottom of the bath. Bah! It was quite something. Chris is available for children's parties if you don't want to go the traditional clown route. But I'll tell you what, there was, I mean, hang on a minute. Let me just, there's 165 people in here. I want to put this out to the chat. Men and women. Give me a 1 in the chat if you had some kind of positive sexual encounter with a teacher, not another student, not someone your own age, I'm talking about a teacher, while you were at school. A 1 in the chat if you had something like what I just said, or just a look or something. If you had some kind of positive sexual experience with a teacher at school, I reckon there'll be loads. I'm calling that now. I fucking hope so anyway. I'm going to look like a right twat. There you go. Richie, Baz, Zen, Aramas, John, Ben, Will, Rags. Interesting. Very interesting. Arpizzle. Yeah, plenty of them. Manny Moo. Broken Silence. Jeff wrote Etro. Yeah, of course flirting counts. I did stress positive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I also had some... hey, there you go. Look at that. Old Bob remembers the fit substitute teacher. Yeah, we had a fit substitute teacher as well. I only just remembered her when you said her. It's interesting. Well, that is an issue, isn't it? But some of the ones at my school were absolutely lovely. Look at Moslab. No holding back. Smashed my teacher's assistant if I seen it here. That counts as a 1, Moslab. Well, that is interesting. Yeah, I mean this is quite an interesting thing, actually, Chrissy, you bring up here, because I mean, well, let's go there, because it's a difficult conversation. I think we don't stray from difficult conversations around here. I do think it is different. If I said to all the blokes in the chat, if there was an absolute hottie at your school, teacher, and she decided to, I don't know, give you a nosh or something, would you have been absolutely over the moon? 1 in the chat if there was an absolute hottie. Let me get a picture up so we can... Hello, Mega Essex boy. Good to see you. Let me find a picture so you can actually imagine. Some results may be explicit. Oh, I didn't quite expect that explicit. Fucking hell, steady on. I'm off the porn. No, that's ridiculous. I know her. Well, I think, yeah, there you go. Look, I didn't even need to finish the fucking question. There's just loads of ones in the chat. However, there's something weird that I just think it is different with women. I think there is an issue there, and I don't know whether I'm right thinking that. I suppose is it to do with males being the more predatory out of the two? I suppose that's got to do something with it. I mean, look, when we heard stories at kids, look at Mark. At 14, she wouldn't have to be hot. There you go. Look, Mrs. Minnie says, of course, every bloke would have gone for it. It's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, look, whenever anyone heard about this, like there was a couple of teachers at my school, Miss Finlayson Stokes, she's probably dead now, I fucking hope so, I don't sue me, and this Miss Crumpton and Miss Perkins. They were all 7, 8 out of 10. Really hot as fuck. Miss Finlayson Stokes, we had a fundraiser for Ethiopian kids or something, and we were all allowed to wear not our school uniforms for one day, right? That was the idea. So you put a bit of money in the bucket, and you don't have to wear your school uniform for that one day. Now, this teacher, this English teacher, who had straight, long, blonde hair, fit as fuck, she wore a school uniform, like a St. Trinian's job, with the fishnets, with the T-shirt tied around her waist, right? That is sexual. And my mate fucked her. Now, when anyone heard about that, you know, when people heard about that, they'd say, "Oi, did you hear so-and-so fucked Miss Finlayson Stokes?" Everyone was like, fucking lucky bastard. But there were also male teachers that would have 13-year-old girls sitting on their laps. And I've told you this story on this channel before. There was this one girl, Suzanne, and I went up to her once. Now, we were in the sixth form, so we would have been, 16? And I said to her, "Hey, Suzanne, do you want to go out on a date? Would you like to come out on a date with me?" And she went, "Nah." She went, "I've already got a boyfriend." And she looked over her shoulder at this teacher. This teacher was completely bald on top with big curly bits here. He was a virtual midget as well. And she looked round and he winked at me. He went, as if to say, "Yeah, unlucky." Now, when you hear that story, you're repulsed. And it's weird, isn't it? And to complicate the issue further, there was a bloke in one of my rehabs who was seduced by a 30-year-old woman when he was 15. And in the rehab, they said to him, this was an abusive relationship because although you were physically up for it, you weren't mentally or emotionally developed enough to deal with the potential consequences of it. And I remember him telling me after the rehab that he really struggled with the idea that it was abusive. And he bought it in the end. In the end, he said that he decided it was abusive. Now, what do you think, chat? This bloke said that he loved it. He said that he loved this relationship he had with this 30-year-old woman. She wasn't a teacher. He just met her somewhere. He was like 15, 16, and he said he loved it. The rehab told him it was an abusive relationship and that, you know, it had caused him problems in life. What do you make of that? What do you make of that little situation? No, I'm not saying anything about it. You know, I still don't know how I think about that. I do understand the inner. I can't get these fucking pictures off my screen. I'll tell you that much. I don't really know how I feel about it. Because what would you do if it was the other way around? What's going on with this thing? I've got to get some new batteries. Give me 1 second. Oh, you nearly saw my bum then. That's what the English teacher said. Fuck me, it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I've got to wrap this up. Well, there you go. Look, Moslab. But while you say that, there you go, Moslab. Like, it sounds like you thoroughly enjoyed it. And then IR directly underneath you says it's grooming, and so it is difficult, isn't it? It's difficult when the person involved, like, look, Moslab clearly seems to think he enjoyed it, and Moslab came out all right. It's very complicated, isn't it? It's very complicated. What the hell's going on here? That. Right, Rags reckons there's some breaking news I've got to look at. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, my days. Lovely. Lovely story. Cheers, Rags. Have a look at this, people. Right, I haven't got a lot left because it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've sworn I'll get an half early night at some point. It really is, Baz. I think it's really complicated. Hello, Paul. Paul says, my form teacher was Miss Turner, and she was a games teacher and used to wear a little netball skirt all the time. She'd bend over and she knew what she was doing. It was definitely done to arouse the boys. Lomax says, I wasn't abused and I'm still regretting it. Jeffro says, I don't know if he fell in love. I don't know. If he fell in love and she led him on and shit, maybe it's bad. It's a weird one, isn't it? Moslab sticking to the facts. I was 17, she was 22 and a solid 8. Well, I think that's where it gets complicated, isn't it? Jeffro says, I fall in love with every girl I sleep with, so it probably would have been bad for me. Yeah, I think this is it. I think the potential negative consequences. Look, I've said this so many times on this channel. You can do anything you want in life, but you've got to be prepared for the consequences. They can be negative, they can be positive. But at 15, are you really ready to deal with the consequences of perhaps the husband of the woman that seduced you, the divorce, the guilt, the social, the community repercussions, ramifications? There's a lot of difficulty here. Mrs. Meehan, it says, a CEO tried to date rape me at 19. Silly sod got the dose wrong. He was in his late 50s. I escaped. Fuck me, man. Horrible. Horrible bastard. Grego says Keir Starmer got the coup for a third time and missed Prime Minister's questions. I did see that. Yes. Yeah, it is a weird question. I doubt I'll get any answers. Hello, Ted. Nice one, mate. Ted lost his virginity at 17, but went straight into 35, 40-year-old women. I loved more mature women back then. What about these days, Ted? You don't need to answer that. Thanks, Ted, for that donation. Much appreciated. Excuse me. Right, we've got quite a grotty little story here that Rags has just sent me to ruin everything. Oh, hang on. That's a great movie, isn't it? It's a great movie. Let's have a look at this. Now, we're going to have to go straight. Oh, hang on. I think I know how to do it. I haven't got my earbuds in. Maybe they've charged up in the time I've had them out. Hang on. Look at that. They've already charged. Amazing. I don't like to shill Apple products, but they're not good. They're 100% charged now. They've only been in there like 15 minutes. Have you subscribed to my Substack yet, people? Link in the description. Get on it, please. Thank you. The grift has dried up considerably at 3 hours and 20 minutes. I can barely talk. It's all right. It's only 2 o'clock in the morning. You crack on enjoying yourselves. Listen to this. This is an absolute shocker. I don't actually want to show it because I don't like this kind of thing. We know it goes on, but this is very dark. Check it. Can I have an audio check, please, people? Even though I just heard that it wasn't working correctly. Hang on. Sorry, people. Give me a couple of seconds. Engage audio. Paired danger pods. Right, I'll have to do this again. We'll probably watch the whole video. It's 3.5 minutes. I ain't seen it. I've just read what happened, and it don't look great.
I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone, and welcome. In this video we're going to be having a look at something that the media don't seem to want to report on, and that is a spate of attempted killings using trains. And I do mean spate. This is a report that a migrant has been arrested after attempting to shove a man under a subway train. Now, this was in Paris, and apparently it's a 25-year-old Tunisian migrant who was arrested after allegedly shoving a man onto the tracks of the city's metro before smashing various items while yelling, you know what he's yelling. The incident took place on Monday night around midnight at the Gare de l'Est station.
You know the rest of that story, obviously. I mean, you know what he was yelling. How many times has that happened in Poland, do you reckon? 0. Right. This is great. This is a bit of levity here. We always have a little bit of Mark Dice on this channel. This is him at his best, actually. I mean, I like his normal show, but this is him doing his go down the beach and see how dumb some of his countrymen are. Sit back, enjoy it, a bit of a palate cleanser. Here we go.
Who do you think should be suspended from Twitter next?
That's a good question.
A lot of the Celebrity Coalition is saying that Congressman Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene should be suspended.
Probably Matt Gaetz next.
They're criticizing Black Lives Matter.
Oh, they are?
And
if they did that, then yes, absolutely.
Then they should be banned.
Yeah,
the members of Congress, the Republicans.
If they're criticizing them, then ban them.
Then ban them. Okay.
Freedom of speech, right?
Comrade, why should people be allowed to hurt other people's feelings and post racist facts?
Hey, that's a tough situation, right? That's a tough freedom of speech. I'm sorry, I'm not in a great mood. So
Okay.
I feel like
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Which Republican do you think should be banned from social media next?
Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley.
Heck yeah.
Because he's posting things about
erroneous stuff that's not even factual. And get Susan, whatever her name, from Georgia too. Nail her too.
And get rid of her, ban her from social media too.
Heck yeah.
Which Republican would you like banned from social media next?
Basically all of them.
Basically all of them.
All of them.
All of them. All Republicans.
All the crazy ones. Yeah.
In that way, we could stop the Republicans from spreading their message, you think?
Probably, yeah.
And just keep the Democratic message going strong, the Marxist message going strong?
Probably.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Trump shouldn't be banned, honestly.
We should not be banned.
Yeah. Because freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
Is this America?
It used to be.
I thought this is America. That's what Randy Marsh all the time says. I thought this was America. Because
it was America until the Marxists take over. Beyonce is calling for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be banned from Twitter because she's been posting a lot of things.
I'm not a Twitter person, but from what I understand, she needs to go.
So you think she should be banned from Twitter? And what about her Facebook page?
Well, the whole thing. I mean, you're out there just lying to lie, and
So ban Marjorie Taylor Greene from every social media site?
I would say.
You would say.
And I'm a free speech person.
Obviously.
As long as it's not bull BS.
Oh, as long as it's not BS, yeah. Hey, do you like my shirt? Order yours from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in
Someone in the chat there, I don't know who it was, Daffyd. No, it wasn't Daffyd. Someone else or something. Yeah, Mark Dice done one the other day. It was quite sweet to watch it if you're a fan of his. People who recognised him. It was quite funny going up with his silly questions, and they're going, and they a couple of them trolled him. They were like, "Yeah, no, sure," and he was like, "Oh, really?" He went, "Yeah, Mark Dice, nice one." It was quite interesting. Yeah, this isn't a very long video, but we already had Steve Turley talking about it could be more than 80 communists losing their seats as people are defecting from the United States of Communism. Well, we've got Jim Jordan on the Ingram angle here, and it's very good. It's more stuff about the midterms. I really want to get this hyped up. I've said it in every fucking stream, excuse my English, for the last few weeks. This build up to the midterms, we are about to see a winning streak. The Overton window is going at a rate of knots I've previously haven't witnessed. And the defections and the excuses and the people, some people are outright just going, I'm a Republican now. It's incredible. The stream we do on the night of the midterms, I mean, get your popcorn in, get a couple of pints of tea at the ready, reheat in the microwave if need be. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be incredible. Let's see what good old Jim Jordan and the very tappable Ingram has got to say about it all. Wood tap. Here we go.
This is America. We're always optimistic, but I think you captured it. The Democrats are trying to destroy every norm, precedent, and principle we have. Think about what they've done just this past year in Congress. They've closed the Capitol. They've enacted proxy voting. They kicked Republicans off committee. They wouldn't let Republicans sit on a select committee. They're trying to make D.C. a state, trying to end the Electoral College, trying to end the filibuster, trying to pack the court, trying to nationalize elections, as you talked about, trying to let illegal immigrants vote, and already doing that in some locales. And finally, the January 6th committee has altered evidence and lied to the American people about that information.
And don't forget the southern border, and don't forget the lack of energy independence. Don't forget Miley ringing up the Chinese communists. I mean, yeah, they're trying to destroy the place, without a doubt. All of those things you just said, straight out of the commie playbook.
So they're unprecedented where they want to take us, but the American people get it. We, the people, get it, and we're going to stand up and make sure the principles that make our country great are defended and protected as we go forward. And in November, I think we're going to put Republicans in charge of the United States Congress.
And me too. It's going to be fucking brilliant.
Yeah, why won't the Speaker's office let the Sergeant of Arms office give us the information, give us the documents, give us the communications? I mean, you have conflicting testimony from that time period. The Capitol Hill Police has said that they asked for the National Guard to be present on January 6th. The Sergeant at Arms has said, no, you didn't. So one guy says we asked for it. The other guy says we did it. The guy who says we didn't reports directly to the Speaker and won't turn over the documents. The guy who said we did ask for the National Guard, they've given us the information. So I think that's what we want to, when Senators asked the Sergeant of Arms, just give us the information. Guess what he said? He said, you'll have to go to the Speaker's office to get that. And the Speaker's counsel, the Speaker's lawyer, the House counsel said, we're not going to give you the information. So turn over the documents. Let us see what's going on here. But again, remember, this committee, documents they do have, they have altered and lied to the American people about those. So I don't know if you can trust anything this committee does, but we'd at least like to know what the discrepancy between these two conflicting.
We at least want to know what lies they're telling. Nice one, Anglo. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, we if they're going to lie, we at least want to know what lies they're making.
Testimonies that we have. Yeah, the day after Pelosi asked the Paul Irving to leave, the Sergeant at Arms, and the new person that they brought in won't turn over the documents. The House counsel won't turn over the documents. But this whole thing, I mean, Laura, think about this. Democrats have objected to counting the electors every single time a Republican has won the presidency this century. Democrats spent 4 years trying to overturn President Trump's election. Democrats spied on President Trump's campaign, and they did an impeachment proceeding in secret based on a so-called whistleblower whose identity only Adam Schiff got to know. But somehow Donald Trump is the threat to democracy, according to Liz Cheney and Adam Schiff. It's ridiculous, and the American people see it for what it is. So we have to make sure we get the truth out, as Jim Banks said, about what really happened, what should have been in place that day to protect the Capitol. This is America.
So good, so good. These are the people we want. The likes of Jim Jordan, Kennedy, Cruz running America. It's going to be superb. The midterms are going to be superb. And you know what? I don't think, I mean, maybe some Americans can refresh my memory, but I don't think I've ever seen a midterms that's going to be so devastating for the holding administration. I just don't think I've ever seen that. You know, that's what your first 2 years are for. You know, you run up to that, you strengthen your base. You do what you said you were doing in the election. The midterms come around. You celebrate because you're nailing it, and then you do all your fucking it up and getting all your money and all your insider trading and all that bullshit afterwards. This is going to be an absolute. It's just going to be colossal. This is it. This is the normies wanting their lives back. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Baz, Ted Cruz. Yeah, I rate Ted Cruz. I really do. I really do. Have a look at this. This is interesting. This is Andrew Pierce talking about Sir Tony. It's only 3 minutes. It's worth checking out. Here we go. I'm running out of voice and words. Have a look at this. Let me know if you've got audio, please. Well, maybe if I start it. Not the best eye makeup, mate. Tony Blair divides opinion. Oh, it's just me watching it, is it? Did you see what I do? I just sit back like that. Tony Blair divides opinion between him and everyone else. Hang on, let me, we'll start it again. Hang on, I have to get it past all the chatter at the beginning. Oh, come on, man. All right, here we go. I'll take it from there. All right, sorry, people. I'm losing it here. It's gone 2 a.m. I've had 5 hours kip in 2 days. My business is going down the pan. For fuck's sake. I don't know what I'm even doing. Hello? What day is it? Is my name Jemima? Check it out. Sorry about his makeup.
Joined now in the studio by Andrew Pierce, journalist and consultant editor of the Daily Mail. Welcome to the programme, Andrew. This poll, was this to be expected? We know that Tony Blair is someone who divides opinion.
Yeah. Look, this is the oldest order of chivalry in the unwritten British Constitution. And if he had any chivalry about him, he'd have said to Her Majesty, thank you very much, but I'm not accepting it, because she has been caught in the flack, because it is a deeply, deeply unpopular honour which she's decided to give to him. She's drawing to the end of her reign. We know that. He was Prime Minister 14 years ago. He did some good things. I'm the first to admit it. He brought a peace in Northern Ireland, independence of the Bank of England. But I'm afraid the whole rocks of his premiership are stranded on the Iraq war. It was an illegal war, in my view. 179 British service personnel died in that war. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed, civilians. The whole Middle East instability is as a result of that war. And let's not forget, Tom, what the Chilcot report said into that war. That was 2.6 million words. I didn't read all of them, but I read again the summary by Sir John Chilcot, and it said that Tony Blair had not exhausted the options for peace before he went into war with George Bush. He also said he'd exaggerated the case that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. We also know about the death of Dr. David Kelly, the unfortunate weapons inspector, who was the source of a BBC
the sexed up dossier
briefing, where he said the dossier which Blair had used to persuade the Commons to vote for war had been sexed up. These are huge scars, I'm afraid, on Blair's premiership. And let's not also forget, just a few weeks ago, we had the madness of the flight from Kabul. We withdrew our last remaining British personnel there. What do you think the families make, Tom, of the 474 people who died in Afghanistan? Do they not think that whole war was in vain? The Taliban are now back in charge. So did their loved ones lose their lives in vain. And let's not forget too, hundreds more suffering life-saving injuries. That's why I'm afraid Tony Blair should not be given a knighthood.
The Afghanistan situation is so weird. All those weapons, all those poppies. That you can't do that by accident. That actually takes a lot of organisation. We need to protect that crop. How are we going to do it? Maybe leave about £80 billion worth of top-notch weapons there. There you go, Moslab. And also, they've got one of the biggest cash crops in the world. Not only a cash crop that, the American government spent I think they spent something like $9 billion eradicating the poppy crop, the opium crop. And it's actually increased by 65%. That's just $9 billion of taxpayers' money. Here, go on, have that. And not only the interesting thing about the poppy crop that they can now defend, with night vision, with fucking armored vehicles, Black Hawk helicopters, you name it. That product actually destroys the West. It's almost the perfect commodity for an Islamic State. It's almost the perfect commodity. It brings them in billions and billions of dollars annually. It's not a one-off crop. And it also devastates their enemies. I mean, when the Syrian refugee crisis happened, I'll tell you what, the fucking Syrian heroin on the streets of London, you couldn't get anything else. The old Turkish brown was just gone. It was all this pale Syrian stuff. I can't imagine where that's come from all of a sudden. Fucking ridiculous. It's all so transparent, And communism always has been transparent, but they've had propaganda. And they haven't got it now because there's the internet. And so we're witnessing such a bizarre situation. It's like you've got someone ransacking your home, but previously you'd have been at a bar while it happened, but you're just sitting there watching it happen thinking, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like a good state of affairs. And there's a little bloke in the corner going, no, it's fine, mate. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. If you don't let him smash the place up, you're going to die of something or other. Absolutely mind-blowing. Give me a couple of seconds. The show's going to start in a minute, actually, people. Right, I'd like to, if you haven't signed up to my Substack, link in the description. It's totally free. There's 14 stories in the archive. If you put your email in, you'll get all the new ones, one a month emailed to you. Please do that. It really helps support the channel. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to Dual Citizen, Rags and Moslab for looking after the place. Thank you to you lot for the endless chatter, which is great because it keeps everyone engaged and it gives me something to respond to. And just thank you all. I'll probably see you. I'm going over to Mrs. tomorrow evening, but I'll probably do an early morning stream. So maybe about 8:30, 9:30, I'll start. Nice one. Look after yourselves. Don't forget you are loaded with value and people love you. It's a wonderful thing. And I will talk to you a bit later. Ta-da! Ta-da! Boom!
Night is drawing in. We must ruminate and then begin. Ever that might telling this tale might illuminate the midnight trail. The light of my life, the light of my life was supernatural. and their destiny unfolds this night. So you must fall under the spell of the mystery that I will tell. The light of my life, the light of my life was supernatural. Children of this land, take the prophecy from in my hand.
Thank you, Andrew French, for that 5-bit in entropy. Much appreciated, mate.
Shadowy place will be sanctuary in darkest days. The light of my life, the light of my life was supernatural. Light of my life, the light of my life was supernatural. Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
The cracker, that one, and it grows on you. I think that's why I've been thrashing it. Look after yourselves, people. I haven't got anything left. I'm just when I finish this stream, I'm going to go. When you see me tomorrow, I'll have a QWERTY embossment. I was going to do some work on my novel, but you know what? I just need a rest. Just moaning now. Oh, you know what? I just need to have a rest. See you later, brothers and sisters. Hoita!